What's up, movie lovers? Welcome to episode number 25 of Ready Play Movies, your weekly source for everything that's new and exciting in the world of entertainment. Every Tuesday at 6 a.m. Pacific or 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we discuss the top news of the week, notable releases, what we're watching, big topics of the industry, and the movies we love. If you want to write anything to be read on the show, send us an email to readyplaymovies@gmail.com or hit us up at readyplaymovies on Twitter. No matter where you found us, please subscribe to the feed so you can get every new show directly to your device as soon as it posts. And if you like it, please leave us a nice review. This is June 29th, 2021. I'm your host, Louis Menchaca, and joining me today is my co-host, Mr. Troy Bracey.
Yes, I'm here. It feels good to be back. I missed last week, and I'm ready to talk movies. Yes, sir.
You know, Troy, we're on video this week. You know that?
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
It's like we got this whole crazy thing. By the way, look at this. We're in the same room.
Yeah, it's like I'm used to doing the videos, but like on my YouTube channel. So this is kind of new to be doing a podcast, with the camera showing. So we're gonna see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we done music when they're talking together back in the day.
Oh yeah, back in the day, yeah, for sure.
But that one was like edited and stuff like that in a way where, like, if we fuck up,
we're going off the dome, like.
And then this one, this is a video. I do it one take, no edits,
no edits. So ain't no messing up. You know what I mean?
So I basically make it so that way I don't have to. I do the least amount of work. I just publish what we record. And speaking of which, I actually wanted to give a quick housekeeping about the publishing situation here. So last week when I had Dan on, and by the way, shout out to Dan for filling in for Troy.
Oh yeah, shout out to him, man, for real. He came through.
So last week when we did the first episode, or like the first, this format video, I had Dan on, and I said during the show that we're going to be doing 8 a.m. For the podcast feed, which I hit 8 a.m. for the podcast listeners. Audio listeners got their show on time. And I said, we're on video too. And I was presuming that we were going to have the video published at 8 a.m. on YouTube as well as audio. But get this, YouTube is on some ho shit.
What they talking about?
All right, so you know how I use like these sound bits and stuff like that? Like, I have like audio from like.
Are they flagging you for that?
Yeah, they're flagging me for different things. Like, so I have at the end of the show I have the Sinatra song "My Way." Yeah. Not "My Way." This is the end. Yeah. Okay. So that Sinatra song, full on copyright claim. Like,
Jesus, for a little clip.
And then it made it so that I couldn't publish it. So when I hit upload, I upload overnight because I go to sleep.
Yeah.
I hit upload, and then when I wasn't publishing, it was because that little 10-second audio bite say copyright claim, you can't publish it, it's blocked.
Man, that's so crazy.
And I'm like, what the hell? So I had to go in there and republish it later that day. I had to republish it and mute the audio. And so when I play the end outro song thing, it's just dead air.
Just dead. Oh my god.
And then on top of that, and check this out, for all the trailers, I put the trailers up on screen, right? Yeah. For every trailer, I got ad claims. Like, they were like demonetizing it, and so like, Jesus. So they're taking everything.
It's crazy. Like, I do YouTube, and like, anytime I put a video on there, like all my videos are 5 minutes, 6 minutes, the longest maybe like 10 or 11 minutes. I don't get no copyright, nothing. Like, and then, we put a podcast up that's 2 hours long, hour and a half for 10 seconds. They tripping. Like, it's like they don't want to see a podcast come up in the game, man. Like, that's why Joe Rogan probably dipped off, man, like, and left YouTube, because they tripping. All I could think of is maybe shortening the clips, or like maybe if the audio was only like 5 seconds or 4 seconds, maybe it'll work. But
the worst part is like for the trailers, they were copyrighting, claiming me for trailers, and it was silent footage. It was literally like the window was like 3/4 of a length, and like because we're on screen and we're talking about the trailer in front of it. Like,
yeah, see, that must be a mistake. Sometimes I heard like YouTube, like, when newer YouTubers start uploading, they're extra cautious, and they be like tripping and trying to claim every little thing. But like, you literally have reaction channels that react to the whole trailer with the sound. So it's like
with the sound.
Yeah. So there's no way, man. That's just crazy. Like, I don't know what's going on right there, but we got to figure out what's going on for real.
Well, I mean, whatever. You can have all the ad revenue for those 10 views that the YouTube.
Yeah, like right now, it ain't nothing we should even worry about. Like, it ain't like, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be a lot.
So yeah, whatever. So just for all you video watchers that like watching it on video instead of listening to it, I will be publishing the YouTube video on Tuesdays, but not at 8 a.m. It'll be later on in the day, maybe like 1 in the afternoon when I get around to fixing whatever copyright claims and stuff like that are happening, so that way it can be published. Because
It gotta be some way we could dispute it or something. Like, man, because
yeah, it's fair use. It's fair use for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just throwing that out there. Tuesdays, the video and audio go up together, just not at the same time. But audio, people get it at 8 a.m. like normal. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and talk about impressions here, and we have a lot of impressions. Troy, you see the list of the things I watched?
Yeah.
Did you watch anything that I didn't?
No.
Oh, well, damn. It's going to be on me then.
Yeah,
all right.
It's all on you.
It's all on me.
Except
okay.
for like Loki episode 3.
All right. Well, first off, we'll go ahead and hit up the biggest one, the biggest story.
F9.
F9, man.
Fuck 9.
Fuck 9. Yo, Troy, let me tell you how this movie is batshit crazy, man. Oh my God. I actually hate it and love it at the same time. All right. This movie is all kinds of bad, like cinema sins out the ass, like this bad story writing, bad like daytime TV soap opera storylines going on, retcons on retcons on retcons, and like just so many plot holes that I even like got taken out of the movie by a couple of times. But you know what though? I am so for it, man. I loved it, man.
God.
I was eating it up, and like I like they were like the Troy, like you know that movie critic side of me, that Troy side. That's like man, this movie's dumb.
You threw that
this
out the
movie's
window.
Dumb, you know, like I shut that. I locked him up in a cage and like threw away the key because I was all about like let me eat this popcorn, let me drink this soda, let me eat this candy, and like come on, like Oh my God, there were so many crazy things. There was a cameo, and can I tell you the cameo, or you want to?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't care.
There was a cameo, and this is a minor spoiler for people that have not watched it, but just based off of the box office, a lot of people have already watched it, so I'm gonna say it's fair game, and it's not a story point. But there was a cameo that literally makes no fucking sense, and like how they brought this character on. This character had a backstory that was never mentioned before, and then the movie's like, oh yeah, man, I used to roll with you like back in the day. Like this bitch, you've not been in any of these movies. And like,
who the cameo? Bow Wow.
No, Bow Wow was in it.
Oh,
Bow Wow from Tokyo Drift was in it. Yeah,
wow.
3 characters from Tokyo Drift were in it. But I'm talking about Cardi B.
Cardi B?
Yeah, they brought in Cardi
God,
B.
No, why?
She used to be like, yeah, if it wasn't for you, Dominic, I would have still been like stealing, like DVD players or something. Like, what I mean? Whatever the fuck, she was. I forgot.
Like, we ain't seen her in 8 movies.
Yeah,
like,
she's like, yeah, man, back in the day, you got me off the streets. Look at this. Look at what I'm doing. I'm doing big moves and stuff like that.
Just all ghetto.
That's a bad Cardi B. I'm sorry.
And she all ghetto. It's like, like, how would he know her? Like, that don't even make sense.
He called in a favor to her. And then the worst part is, like, the way she came in is she came in to do a favor, and it makes no fucking sense. Like, how the hell did he know to call her in this situation he had no control over? You know what I mean? Like, God. It was so dumb, dude, man, I gotta tell you right now, the trailer gave it away, but they went into space.
Yeah,
like, they straight up went into space, Jesus and like they were in orbit. They saw space and everything like that. It was crazy, man.
God, man, like that's crazy. That is absurd. Like I haven't watched a Fast and Furious movie since Fast 7, so. Like, and it's just because of this, they're just going to keep getting more and more ridiculous. Like, the next one, they're going to have a lightsaber. I'm calling it now. They're going to pull out lightsabers and start fighting.
They started talking about Star Wars in the movie, by the way.
For real?
Yeah, they were like, this villain was like, I want you to go after these guys, spend all the money to get the best people, give me some X-Wing, some Millennium Falcon, Chewbacca if you can afford them, like that kind of shit. He was like, I was like, what the fuck?
That's so random.
It's like, they're owned by Disney, and this is a Universal movie, you know what I mean? Like,
it's crazy, man.
Oh my God, this movie was so awesome, and like, it was so like just the worst as far as like the movie has like borderline cartoon like physics, and like they even had a line. They had a line about it's like this should work as long as we both obey the laws of physics, and I'm like, bitch, you are way past that right now. The audacity, the gall.
Y'all stop doing that in Fast 5.
I know, right? Yeah, the gall of you to say that. It was bad. Like, oh my God. I kind of want to trash this movie, like in the sense that, this is bad. And like to mention, like I've seen many reviews of like saying it's bad, but It's a solid 7, man.
God damn, you got it a 7? Jeez,
It was
man.
popcorn fanfare, man.
Oh my god.
I enjoyed it, and there was so many like good like little how do you call it fan pleasing moments and stuff like that. Like there's a mid credit scene that was like that hashtag. It's like.
I mean, one of the reasons why I stopped supporting the Fast and Furious movies, because I really think these movies now have become bad for Hollywood, because, movies like this, like Fast 9 is going to make a lot of money in the box office, right?
Yeah.
And it makes the producers feel like, okay, we don't have to put no real effort into making a really good movie. All we got to do is have certain explosions and have a hit. And who cares of the quality? Who cares about the continuity? Who cares about the characters? Who cares about, the writing? Let's just have a bunch of fun.
Yeah.
And then, and as long as we make money, and then, we're going to see a bunch of people trying to mimic like Fast 9 instead of mimicking something like an Inception, where that movie also made a lot of money, but it had depth and it had character and great story, originality. Yeah, so one of the reasons why I stopped watching Fast and Furious, because I can't support that part of Hollywood, and put money in the pockets of those producers. Because listen, like, Fast and Furious didn't always used to be like that. Like, Fast 5 was probably my favorite one out of the whole franchise. Like, during the Fast 5 era, I was a huge fan of it, because you could tell it was still, yes, they broke the laws of physics and did some shit that was a little ridiculous, but you could tell they put a lot of effort into making the movie a good, solid movie, But then right around, like, 7 or 8, it just started to be like, it don't matter.
With each movie, they push the boundaries of like ridiculousness and stuff like that, and they even like there's even like a running plot line for Tyrese's character to talk about how they are like. He was like, dude, I think we're invincible. Like, he literally said like how like from Furious 7 where like the skyscraper thing, and like Furious 8 they're like. Fast 8 or Fate of the Furious, they're like, battling a submarine, and Fast and Furious 6, they're fighting a tank and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like,
it was one,
Furious 7,
there was one trailer I watched. I think it was like the Hobbs and Shaw movie. Where it was like The Rock had like pulled the helicopter or some shit. And I was like, what the fuck?
In reality, his arms would have been ripped off of his body.
I was like, oh my god, so he Captain America now.
Yeah, he's Captain America.
Oh my goodness.
And then Idris Elba, he was a cyborg. I don't know if you know this, but Idris Elba, the villain in Hobbs and Shaw, he's a cyborg. And he calls himself Black Superman in the trailer.
Yeah, like
you forgot about that, didn't you?
It kind of got a bit too ridiculous for me. Like, they start going, and then you watch the first one, it was just about racing,
stealing DVD players off of an 18-wheeler truck.
That was a full-fledged superhero movie. Like, oh no, man.
No, but here's the thing. I think you're right. I mean, I think Furious 7. I think the franchise peaked at Furious 7.
Yeah.
As far as like, it was a perfect series finale. Like, you could have never made another Fast anything ever again.
Right.
You would have gone on a high note, and everyone was like, that's a beautiful send-off. R.I.P. to Paul Walker.
Yeah,
everything.
It was perfect. And the thing about it is, I wouldn't have mind them, like, just say you end that franchise and do spinoffs. Like how they did Hobbs and Shaw. I mean, of course, I would have hoped they did it better, but maybe like end that. But I see y'all still want to make money off this franchise. Okay, let's do a spinoff. Let's
like
do
Tyrese and Ludacris.
Yeah, Tyrese and Ludacris, or do a Han prequel, or something like that. Like, do little stuff, and I think that'll still make money because it's in the Fast and Furious universe. But leave the main storyline like come to an end. But I just feel like it's greed. Like, I don't care. Like, I feel like if the whole cast had happened to pass away, God forbid, they'll still do a Fast and Furious movie. Like, if Vin Diesel gone, Tyrese, Ludacris, they all pass away for some reason.
Fast 10 is
still happening. It's like, it's greed. They don't have any integrity, but it is what it is.
Also, they retconned in the movie. They retconned Gal Gadot's character in this movie again.
Oh my god, man! Like they don't like. And then that's another thing. I hate when movies do that, because there's no wait till when someone dies. It's like, oh, this person died, but they're bringing back 2 movies from now some kind of way. Like, there's no, like, if Han died, bring her back. If Letty died, bring her back.
Well, Letty did die. Shit, and they brought her back.
Brought her back. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And so it's like, there's no wait weight to it. Like when someone dies, you can't be like, oh man, dang, that hurt. That character was my favorite character. He's gone now. Blah blah blah. Because you just know, like, if they want to bring him back, they just retcon it. Who cares? So yeah,
he
man.
wasn't actually in the car when it exploded. It was
Yeah,
all just for show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
it was crazy, and I just, like I said, like, this movie is so bad, but it's so good. Like, I think I'm just conditioned to, like, just say fuck it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it
you
is.
You kind of got used to it.
So I'm gonna put it to you this way: Fast 8 was definitely worse than Furious 7. So if you were there and you were all about it for Fast 8 for Fate of the Furious, if you were like, okay, you know what, this series might have jumped the shark, but you know what, I'm still ride or die, then you'll like this movie.
Right. Like 8 kind of is still, in the world like that 9 feel.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Ridiculousness and all. So
I mean, but speaking on something that I actually did like is Loki.
Yeah, there we go. I was about to transition right there.
Yeah,
you
man.
beat me to it. But yeah, Loki's up next on the chopping block, or at least not the chopping block. In this case, we're going to talk about its praises because, you know what? Actually, I've seen some mixed reactions of saying that this third episode that happened feel like a filler. And I'm like, no, it ain't.
I understand that argument. I understand them sentiments because I kind of felt that way too. Even though I really enjoyed this episode, one of the slight problems that this show has is like the show is very stagnant. Like it's just it's like the story isn't moving along. Like you have a whole episode and you're like.
Let me look through these files. And
it's like just talking and and like really the story doesn't continue to the end of the episode. It's like the end of the episode how you're like, yes, something happening, and then it's over. And then you begin the next episode, nothing happens through a whole episode. Then the end, boom, something happens. So it's like the episodes are very just still. They're not like moving like they should be, but it's not taking away how great the show is written. Like the show is written so well, and the chemistry between all the actors are fantastic, and the two Lokis, they're like perfect. Like it's like Lady Loki is just a female version of Loki, and it's like it's so good, man, and the dialogue is so good. Like I could sit there, and even though like this episode felt like how some people saying like it felt like a filler, like it's a filler episode that I could have sat and watched for another hour, like because just their dialogue back and forth, their bickering, it was just entertaining to me. It was just the definition of two solid actors playing off of each other, and the dialogue held up.
Yeah.
So I thought the episode was fantastic, and one of the things I like about the girl Loki was I was nervous that they were gonna try to make her like the stereotypical villain, like evil, I'm evil, but she kind of started off like that, but it's crazy how she feels like a woman version of Loki, like where she's bad and she's this villain, but somewhere you see that there's good in her. Like Loki's always been like that with me, even with like when he was back in Avengers, the first Avengers or the first Thor, like he was a villain, but it was
sympathetic.
But it was something about him, right, that you were like, okay, I could see him being a good guy, and they always played on that through all of the movies Loki showed up in. And I feel that in her too. Like she's this bad person, she's killing, but somewhere inside her, she seems like she's a good person.
Well, that and also like just putting the pieces together, you can sort of see that she may not even be the villain. Like it almost kind of feels like the actual TVA themselves are the
villains, because they're doing little sneaky shit.
Yeah, there's two things at play here. Number one, she wants to, because of the conversation that Loki had with Owen Wilson's character, Mobius, an episode ago, he's talking about, well, what about free will? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what the story is really about, because she wants to get rid of the TVA so that there's no more predestiny. There's no more, like, there's no more script. It's like, everything is free will.
Happen the way it happens,
and so she might actually be the right person to do it. Maybe her methods are questionable. You can argue there's a conversation about that, but ultimately, that's how powerful the TVA is. She has to do those things, and not to mention the Minutemen don't even know that they're all variants.
Yeah, they are variants, and like, cause didn't I believe Owen Wilson's character was like, they are born.
Created by the TVA.
TVA,
which is
but
not
we
true.
find out that that's not true in this episode. So it's some sneaky shit going on
Some
behind the
possible
scenes.
mind wipes because Owen Wilson didn't remember creating those rings, those water rings. When he's like at the cups and stuff like that, he must have had his memory erased, and people are already speculating that he comes from the '90s because he likes those water skis from the '90s.
So I, and that's what's interesting. The only thing that, unless they're doing like a season 2, the only thing about it is it's like we're already on episode 3, right? There's no way you're gonna be able to introduce them and then make them a villain in 3 episodes. Like, I mean, even these 3 episodes that passed by, it don't look like the story just was super flowing through, So it's like, unless they're like gonna like end the show on like this cliffhanger and then they're gonna do a Loki season 2, which is possible and I think everyone would like. I don't know if they'll have enough time to do all of that, like in terms of like introducing them as the villains and then having Loki and them go up against the TVA or whatever, like
the timekeepers or whatever.
Yeah, the timekeepers. I don't know if that work, but I hope that's the case because that'll be very cool and it'll be very like interesting to see like basically the gods. You know what I mean? And see how that goes. So.
Yeah, I guess there's only one last thing to talk about as far as this Loki. By the way, we totally went into spoiler territory. By the way, for those that haven't watched Loki, our bad. The other thing is there was the big revelation, and people were celebrating and calling it a victory, which I don't know. I don't necessarily. I'm gonna just be very careful about this one because I'm gonna say I don't want to overstate it either, but I kind of don't feel like. Hurrah, yay, you do it, Yas Queen, whatever you want to say, I don't know. But like, they revealed that Loki is bisexual in this episode, and people were like, oh, it's June right now, it's Gay Pride Month or what, I forgot what it's called, but it's that month right now, and people were saying that it's a huge win. It's he's a title character with his own show. It's like he's the name of the show. It's not like one of those like secondary or third like level like or like supporting characters. Like it's an actual like above the title star. Who's part of the LGBT community or whatever. So I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't really want to say that it's like that. They're like they're champions of anything. Like I don't want to give them too much credit, to tell you the truth, because I don't feel like they're. I don't feel like it's that. But at the same time, people say that you're supposed to like treat it as like whatever, don't make a big deal out of it. It's like people want to have it both ways, where it's like you champion something, but you also make it a character feature that doesn't define you, which clearly that's the case. But like it's like the reason why I don't personally want to give him that much credit is because Loki is a TV show. And it's not a movie that's playing in China.
Yeah, and
that's how I kind of see it.
It's just so annoying. Like for me, it's annoying not because I'm a homophobe or I don't want bisexual characters in movies and shows and stuff, but it's like if it feels like it's just done for the sake of doing it, like if there's no story point and there's no need for movies to reveal if people are straight. Like if that has nothing to do with the story, I don't need to know how if a person is straight, gay, nothing. It's like don't have it for the sake of having it. Like hey y'all, this for y'all. He's gay. Like I don't, you know what I mean? So
there's a term in that people use in for Hollywood. It's called queer baiting.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Like they always do that thing where it's like they dance around it, like like Finn and what's that?
And Finn and Poe Dameron.
Finn and Poe. They always do that thing where it's like, oh, but like never really address it. Yeah. So they kind of sort of want to get the goodwill without having to commit. And this one, it's like, I don't know. I'm of two minds of it. It's like, yeah, it's cool, but also you totally copped out because it's a direct to streaming TV show that you don't have to worry about China censors. You know what I mean? Like that's literally like I feel like you didn't like some arithmetic on that, and it feels very like grimy in my opinion.
I agree, man. It's just something that's annoying for me. Like it ain't a big deal. I don't like care that much, but it's just annoying. Like it's like trying to force that in or trying to like, oh my gosh, so Loki's been like, okay, cool.
Well,
whatever.
he was also revealed as gender fluid in episode 1. Remember that file where he was like, he's gender fluid.
Yeah. But I mean, actually, it's crazy because I feel like they're setting up like a romance between
Loki,
Loki and
would be
Loki.
the kind of character that would want to fuck himself.
Yeah, like I mean, they really did kind of like and maybe it's because the chemistry was so good that
romantic tension.
But they were kind of setting up that romantic tension. So I'm curious to see, like, it'll be kind of weird because it's like, nigga, this you. Like, but at the same time, it's not. The reality, I mean, it's another version, but it's not. Like, they got different upbringings, and of course
like she didn't have a mom.
She didn't have a mom, and like he's a guy, so it's different enough to where that could be a thing.
He was taught magic by his mom, and she taught herself.
Right? So like I feel like it's enough differences where they could kind of make that a thing or something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, that's another thing I just wanted to say. Like, I'm like, again, I'm not like. I like I said, my final word on it is like, if it feels like it was done by committee, then I'm not about it.
Yeah, so. I agree. Oh, and one last thing. The one thing that I didn't like about this episode was the background. Like, to me, it was just bad. Like
green screen?
Yeah, it's like I noticed a big green screen through the whole episode. I was like, and Disney's been very good with this, like with the Mandalorian, like
Falcon and Winter
Soldier, like all these shows. They've been so good. Where it's like, man, like whatever they're doing, it's like movie quality. But with this episode, it's like they went cheap as hell. Like I'm just looking. It was distracting me. I'm like, why does that look so fake? Like, but I mean, again, it's a minor nitpick. I love the episode, but it was just something I had to mention.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right. We'll go ahead and move on to the last two things here. I kind of want to just give a quick update to the Star Wars: The Bad Batch. We didn't talk about it last week when Dan was here, but there were 2 episodes, and they were both badass episodes. The episode before it was Crosshair versus the Bad Batch, and it was so good. Like, it was like damn near like perfect cat and mouse. Great, like it's so crazy to see, like, when Crosshair is such a good formidable foe for the Bad Batch, because he had them on their toes and he almost got them. Yeah. And like they had to start like improvising. Let's do that. Like,
figure something out.
Let's MacGyver this shit. You know what I mean? Like. Yeah. And then the episode that happened just this past one was a rescue episode, and it was centered around I forgot Omega. Yeah, it was centered around Omega, and it was so good. And also, it was again another cat and mouse episode where there was so much intricacies that was at play. And again, I don't want to spoil anything, but a character shows up out of nowhere from a previous episode. And then you almost think of it as a plot hole. I thought it was a plot hole at first when she showed up. I was like, how the hell does she know to be here? Yeah. You know what I mean? But then there's a plot twist at the end of the episode that reveals why she was there in the first place. And I'm like, damn. Ooh. And I was like, this is some espionage shit. Oh, the Kaminoans are back. You know what I'm talking? Remember I told you how I said, like, the Kaminoans are missing? They're gonna come back.
Yeah. I figured that from the jump. Like,
I said, like, there's no political intrigue. There's no Game of Thrones things. Now they answered my question. Yeah. Like, so there's these last 2 episodes are like big overarching story ones, and they're not like filler episodes. Like, let's do this job.
Yeah, for the sake of it.
Yeah. Let's do this job for the episode.
That's good. That's great.
So I am so like, damn. I feel like I'm more high on this episode than ever before. And I think that they're hitting the stride. And I don't know how many more episodes are left, but damn, they're bringing it.
Bad Batch, man. Yeah. They coming with it for sure.
And finally, the last thing I watched on HBO Max was In the Heights, which was a musical.
Oh yeah, did you finally see what you think of it? I heard it was special, but I don't know.
Okay, the music not that good. It was alright. The cinematography was the thing that I want to give the praise to the most. They had some great camera angles and these great cool ass sequences like of imagination and stuff like that, where like there's these like one characters that's sort of like standing on like upright, and then they start walking up the walls and start dancing on the walls, and then the cameras like follows them perfectly and stuff like that. It looks like it was all done in one take. Damn. And it was so awesome. Like there was a scene. That was
some La La Land type shit.
Yes, exactly. There was some cool like magical ass moments and stuff like that. There was this moments where like they're in the swimming pool and there's this crazy choreographed sequence. There's like these crazy ass moments where like the camera knows when to zoom in and the camera knows when to let the dancers do their thing. And they do this perfect blend of just like of like personal and also spectacle.
Yeah.
Overall, like I thought the story was kind of all right. Like I don't know. There was this one part that got me a little emotional, but other than that, like
It didn't blow you away.
it didn't blow me away. Like I've seen some critics who are like saying like this is one of their favorite movies of the year, and I can see why.
I mean, it's early in the year.
Yeah.
Like I hate when people say that and it's in March or January. I mean, March, January, February. April. Like, really, once after summer, like on forward, that's when the movies start coming in.
Yeah.
So, it's movies that may suck, and then that's only one all right movie, and they're like, oh, that's the best movie of the year.
Yeah, well,
come
there's
on.
this one critic who's saying, like, he's going to remember this movie and this person's performance for Oscar season.
Damn,
what he said.
this early?
Yeah,
I don't know
that's what he
about
said.
that because we got some bangers coming this year. Like,
Hey, look, that's what he said. He said, I'm gonna hold him to it, but you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know though, cause I gotta see it, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm talking shit, but as soon as I see it, I might agree with him. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's definitely things to say that there were good things and stuff like that. Ultimately, this movie is about like gentrification and like preserving one's culture and following your dream. There were some characters that resonated with me and stuff like that. Things that like I've been through and stuff like that. That I was like, okay, that makes sense. But like, I don't know. It just seems like I couldn't really fully grasp it. There were times in the movie where I was just checking my watch to see how much more longer do I have to watch this movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think I was a target demographic anyways. I mean, it's definitely, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Right.
I've watched many a musical before, and I like musicals, but this one just didn't ring with me.
It didn't click.
It didn't click with me. So, but that's not to say that this movie isn't good. There from a technical showpiece perspective, there was a lot of good things going on, and I can recognize it from like the acting, the choreography, the editing, the cinematography, and everything. Like
Technically, it was well done.
it was all well done. So, anyways, with all that said, I would say from a recommendation standpoint, sure, why not? If you have HBO Max, but I wouldn't necessarily go to the theaters to pay to watch that movie. But yeah, of all the four things, my biggest recommendation is still F9 of all of them.
Oh my god!
All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the news.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
So for the news, we only have 4 news stories, and I was scrounging like all of like Variety and just trying to scrape the bottom of the barrel, trying to find news stories and stuff like that. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the biggest news story here, which is the box office report, because F9 did in fact come out this weekend here, and it says here that F9 zooms to a mighty $70 million debut, shattering pandemic records. I saw a headline that said like F9 was the biggest opening weekend since the Rise of Skywalker,
Damn.
which was pre-pandemic. So we'll go ahead and read the story. It says here, the only thing stronger than family, the box office debut of F9, the latest entry in the Universal's Fast and Furious saga. After many delays over the course of a year and a half, F9 opened to a mighty $70 million from 4,179 North American venues. That's by far the biggest for a movie at the U.S. box office, not just since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, but since 2019 Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Oh, there we go. See? That's what I was talking about. The big screen homage of hulking men, speeding cars, gravity-defying stunts, and of course, family is giving much needed momentum to the movie theater's business, which has been struggling to rebound as audience begin to feel comfortable returning to the local multiplex. F9 is the latest blockbuster hopeful to set a new box office benchmark for COVID times. Prior to this weekend, Paramount's A Quiet Place Part 2 held the pandemic-era opening weekend record with $48.3 million, which is true, but that was a 3-day total. It opened in Memorial Day weekend, which is at a 4-day total, like $55 million.
Yeah.
So the bold decision was made to move F9 back a year was absolutely spot on. Oh yeah, that's right. They were the first studio to we're delaying it a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, says Jim Orr, Universal's president of domestic distribution. Our release has ignited the domestic box office, and it's setting the market for a great summer. Opening weekend crowds were 60% male, with 51% of ticket buyers under the age of 25. Broken down by demographics, 37% of moviegoers were Hispanic, 35% were Caucasian, 16% were Black, and 8% were Asian. Or adds, the audience was very diverse, which reflects the strength of our cast and this franchise.
Yeah, the great news about this is that the pandemic is officially over for for moviegoers. Yeah, for movies. I mean, it's crazy to think. This time last year we were wondering if we would ever be in theaters again. You know what I mean? Like, I actually made a couple of videos saying how I'm hopeful, but I wasn't for sure. But these type of numbers reflect numbers before the pandemic. So, and this is the type of film that would do those big numbers, and it did what it was supposed to. So I think the whole COVID era, in terms of like, oh no, people, I don't know if we're going to go to it's over now, so that's the good news going forward with this success. Like, people feel comfortable now putting their movies out. We don't have to worry about like, oh no, it's COVID, so we don't want to push it back. Like, nah, we put it out.
Yeah, this
Hopefully
movie, this movie literally is like your case example. You could open a movie and you go big.
Right. I mean, I almost wish like some of the movies that got pushed back would come forward. Like,
Forward now.
like I think the Batman got pushed back, and I was like, damn, I hope that I wanted that
Well, I
movie.
think it got delayed because of production delays.
Production. Okay.
It might have been. I don't know, but
Yeah.
As far as like, we've yet to see the first movie open at $100 million. There's that.
Cool.
There's that.
But what movie would have opened at 100 million?
This movie.
You think I would have did 100?
Yeah.
Well, probably.
I mean, and like if
it's hard
if Black Widow comes out in 2 weeks, by the way, if Black Widow comes out next Friday and it doesn't do $100 million, then
I mean, it's hard to say only because Fast 9 got kind of poor reviews. So
yeah, that is true.
70 million for a poor review movie is solid. It's real good. So who knows if people were raving about it, like, oh, this is the best Fast. It might have did 100. So who knows?
And also, the Black Widow is going to be on Disney Plus as well, like with the premiere
Oh
access.
yeah, so that's going to hurt for box office.
Yeah, so I just gotta say this. The article does finish out by talking about the international. It's already made $300 million internationally. I also want to give a quick little anecdote about my time watching the movie at the movie theater yesterday. So yesterday was Sunday when we record this episode. Yesterday I actually went to the movies for the first time on an opening weekend.
Oh, wow.
Period. Since COVID.
Oh,
because
shit.
every single time I've ever talked about going to the movies, whether I was talking about Tenet or talking about A Quiet Place or Chaos Walking, every time I've ever talked about a movie that I watched in theaters has always been the week after, like the Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Like, no one's there.
No one there.
Yeah. So this is the first time I've ever been in a movie theater with a big ass crowd of people watching the movie, and like. Also, I don't think they did this thing where because there was somebody sitting next to me, I don't think they did that skip seating thing anymore.
Oh, really?
I really don't.
I mean, they've been doing it still since I've been going it, but maybe this one has so many people. I don't know. Who knows?
It doesn't appear to be any block seatings going on. So there's that. Because there was literally a stranger sitting next to me and a stranger sitting next to my nephew.
Oh, wow.
Wow, and
that's
then
crazy.
we were like, well, I mean, obviously we got these big ass recliner seats, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're not
but
gonna be
still,
shorter.
like,
You're not gonna be shoulder to shoulder with someone.
I mean, it's because I seen what was the Quiet Place Part 2 opening weekend, and I seen Conjuring and A Quiet Place Part 2, and they still had the I mean, of course you could sit next to who you come with, but they still had the.
But whenever you buy like 2 tickets, the tickets on your seat on your left and your seat on right are like X'd out.
Right, yeah.
I don't think they did that.
But
with this
so
movie.
I think they, that might be a part of why we looking at 70 million opening weekend. I think they might have finally started to say, okay, look,
And there was I saw maybe I don't know 5-6 people out of everyone wearing masks. Everyone else was not wearing masks, and even the staff weren't wearing masks.
Man,
I'm glad I'm vaccinated, but it feels like they're just throwing everything out the way as far as they're still doing the thing where they give you, when you get a refill of popcorn, they give you a brand new bucket, so that way
you don't reuse.
We don't reuse the same thing. So they are doing that. But overall, I mean, I wasn't really all scared or anything like that. I'm just saying this is literally the first time I've ever been to a big opening weekend with people. I've always basically, for the most part, in general, I've always had private screenings when I watch a movie in the weekday.
Yeah, man, it felt like the movies again.
It felt like the movies again. Yeah, it's true. So yeah, that was it. I just wanted to talk about that, and also congratulations to F9 for doing its thing, and we'll continue to track to see if maybe by this time next week it'll hit 100 million. You know what I mean? The next story is talking about John Boyega. It says here Star Wars actor John Boyega loses his Twitter verification badge due to inactivity before it's mysteriously restored. You know that blue check mark?
Oh yeah.
He lost that blue check mark here.
That's weird.
People were having conspiracy theories on it, by the way. Star Wars actor John Boyega was inexplicably stripped of his Twitter verification badge before it was hastily restored following Variety's inquiries on Friday. The actor, who was a central cast member in the most recent Star Wars trilogy alongside Daisy Ridley, appeared to lose his verification badge sometime earlier this week. Since Wednesday, Twitter users have been remarking on Boyega no longer having a checkmark by his Twitter handle. A spokesperson for Twitter declined to comment, but a source suggested that the blue checkmark had been removed due to, quote, inactivity, pointing Variety in the direction of Twitter's verification policy, which says, you may lose your badge if you change your account name / your @ handle, if your account becomes inactive or incomplete, or if you are no longer in the position you initially were verified for, such as an elected government official who leaves office, and you do not otherwise meet our criteria for verification. We also may remove the blue badge from accounts that are found to be in severe or repeated violation of the Twitter rules. The source added that inactivity can mean not logging onto Twitter for more than 6 months. Within minutes of Variety pointing out that other celebrities such as Star Trek actor Will Wheaton haven't been publicly active on Twitter for a much longer period of time, but have retained their verification badge, Boyega's blue checkmark mysteriously reappeared. Boyega's last tweet is from November 2020. Wheaton is from April of 2018. It is unknown whether Wheaton has been logging in periodically or to ensure his account remains active. Earlier this year, Twitter announced that it would be taking more hardline stances on inactive verified Twitter accounts and removing verification badges more frequently. Their policy states that once verified, a user cannot request to have the blue checkmark removed. However, given the verification badge were introduced in 2009 after celebrities such as Kanye West complained of impersonation, removing them from world-renowned actors, even those who haven't logged in for 6 months, seems counterproductive. So Boyega's verification badge came on the heels of Hollywood Reporter's story earlier this week claiming that the actor had unexpectedly walked off his latest Netflix production, Rebel Ridge. Netflix cited that family reasons for Boyega's decision to part ways with the film. We talked about it on the show a couple weeks ago, where he's like, dude, he left halfway into filming a movie, and now it's like, what the fuck? He's like, people were conspiracy theorying like, oh, he's being deplatformed, he's being blacklisted. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, what are your thoughts on this? What do you think?
I don't know. Like, this really don't seem like much to do about nothing to me. Like, first of all, who cares if he has a check or not? I guess it makes him more official. I don't know. I don't care. But the thing about it is, it's like it came back on. So how can you have these conspiracy theories of like, oh, they blackballing them or whatever they're saying? It's like, dude, it's back on. So
well, at the time, people were already running with it before he got the bag.
And that's how you know, like, when your conspiracy theory wrong, because it'll be proven to be fake once something like this happens. But for me, I just don't care. Like, I don't care if he don't have a blue check. Like, it don't matter. And honestly, like, based off the criteria, I mean, it makes sense. If you ain't been on it in a while, if you done changed some shit, maybe he met all the different things. He ain't been on it since November of 2022. Maybe he changed his password, and they was like, they took it off, but then they was, oh, he's John Boyega, a famous actor. All right, give it back to him, So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, I just wanted to talk about this real quick because, like, I remember it being a hot headline for a day sometime last week, and it wasn't like, it definitely did fall off fast because obviously with this article being, published when it was published after the fact, after all the conspiracy theories were talking so much shit. But I did see it for like a quick minute on YouTube. Next up, we'll go ahead and look at this new headline here, and this one's another fast one here. But we don't necessarily have to read the article on this one. I'll just like talk about the headline. This is a bit of an extra news in a sense, but Harrison Ford was injured while filming Indiana Jones 5. So I'm gonna give you the TLDR about this one, and I'm not even gonna like read the article because I kind of sort of know like the bullet points. So they were filming a rehearsal. They were rehearsing a fight scene, and so it wasn't even like the cameras weren't even rolling, but he got injured. And apparently he's going to be out for a couple weeks. And they say that they're gonna keep the release date. The release date's not changing, and they're just gonna shuffle
Shoot
the
around
yeah,
it.
Yeah, they're gonna shuffle the order of the scenes. So there were certain scenes scheduled a couple weeks out with other actors where Harrison Ford is not in the scenes. So they're gonna make those and shoot those now while he's healing up, so that way he can come back and return to filming and stuff like that. So there's really nothing much to do about this one, but people were talking about how, like, damn man, Harrison Ford be getting injured all the time. He got injured during Star Wars Episode 7. He got injured on his off day when he's like not filming a movie, but he was still filming a movie where he was like flying a plane and he crashed it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But like,
but people got to realize Harrison Ford's old as shit. Like the fact that he's even making these movies like he's doing, like with Blade Runner and Star Wars, and now this, like he made them movies when he was a young man, and now he's like
he's 78, I think.
I think like 78, like 78-year-old people that I know are barely like walking, like in a wheelchair, or they're barely moving. Let's alone making a action movie.
78.
Yeah, 78. So like a lot of 78-year-old people that I know is barely walking, yet alone making an action movie in their late 70s. Like that, that in itself amazes me. So it doesn't surprise me, but I felt like they should have been a little bit more cautious. Like I wouldn't do no action scenes with him. I'll bring in a double to do every bit of action scenes. Most I let him do is running, you know what I'm saying? And I don't even fully let him do that, because like if you see him running in The Force Awakens, it look a little slow. So it's like, I'd have him only doing acting. So I don't know what they were doing, but I would have been a bit more cautious. Like even in rehearsing, like I just let the double come and do it. But
yeah, there you go. So I mean, I wonder if they do the double where it's like he's gonna be like an old man, like wrinkles and stuff. Like they put young guy and then they put the wrinkles on and the gray hair. They spray the gray hair on him. And oh my god! I was gonna say if his double's gonna need a double.
Double gonna need a double.
If it's not a young guy or whatever, but I just wanted to talk about that real fast. I thought it was kind of, I mean, from what it seems like, from what I read, it doesn't seem like it was a like a totally bad injury. Like as far as like
I mean, if he's only out a couple of weeks, then it ain't that bad.
Then this is gonna be one of those kind of things you can sort of laugh about.
Yeah, it's probably like a sprained ankle or something.
Yeah, so probably. We'll go ahead and move on to the final top news, which I think this might be the fastest we've ever gone through news before, because these news stories, other than Fast 9, a bit of extra news kind of feel. But next up is Amazon's bid for MGM to get an FTC or Federal Trade Commission antitrust review. So we talked about how Amazon is going to be buying up MGM, but now apparently the U.S. government is going to be looking at to see if it's like, if it's a monopoly, you know what I mean? Like antitrust. So Amazon's $8.5 billion deal to acquire MGM will be the subject of an antitrust review by the Federal Trade Commission, the Wall Street Journal reported, citing anonymous sources. Last month, Amazon announced a definitive agreement to acquire MGM and its well-stocked library of 4,000 movies and 17,000 TV shows, including the storied James Bond film franchise. The FTC and the Justice Department share oversight of reviewing the antitrust implications of significant proposed mergers and acquisitions. The FTC recently got the green light after a recent interagency meeting with the Department of Justice to review the Amazon MGM deal, given that the FTC currently is leading a broader antitrust probe into Amazon business practices per the Wall Street Journal report. And like Amazon in general, they are a really big, massive company. People are going to talk about, oh man, this is a monopoly kind of thing, so they're like, Amazon themselves is already getting like, too big for their britches kind of thing. So, so this kind of makes sense. And also, side note, Disney, when the Disney Fox merger happened, that also got reviewed for monopoly and antitrust
I mean,
stuff.
like when you had dealing with a deal that huge, like it's I think it's probably protocol for them to, just make sure ain't nothing criminal going on behind the scenes, because it's such a big deal. Like it's so many numbers. Like for deals to even get done, it takes months.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like, so that's how much stuff. Like it, I don't know the specifics or nothing, but I mean, I think that's probably protocol.
There's a lot of red tapes. There's a lot of filings.
Yeah. So they just making sure ain't nothing slipped. They ain't slipped nothing illegal. Through the.
Well, generally speaking, when you talk about antitrust, the reason why antitrust is basically about monopolies is when your company gets so big, they can start pushing and like forcing out the little guy, and then basically make it to the point where no competition can exist.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So Disney is sort of heading in that direction. Like people. Tech companies like Amazon, Facebook, Apple.
Well,
Google.
yeah, I mean, I remember it was a story that came out back in like 2015, and it was like Disney did some bullshit to Quentin Tarantino because it was a certain theater. Actually, the theater we was talking about a couple weeks back that's no longer going to be the ArcLight. Yeah, I think Quentin Tarantino, he had a movie that was scheduled to come out on the ArcLight, well, Hateful Eight. It was scheduled to show at the ArcLight, and it was around the same time The Force Awakens was coming out. And I think Disney, like, they told the ArcLight theaters, like, if you don't play our movie at this time that you're supposed to play Quentin Tarantino's movies, then you're never gonna be able to play our movie at the ArcLight. Hell no. Like, and Quentin Tarantino came out and spoke on it, and
made him look bad.
Yeah, it was like a big deal, but that's in a small way doing that already. It's
strong-arming.
Yeah, strong-arming.
Disney strong arms. I don't know if you know this, but there's a huge story about how like Disney, when The Force Awakens and like Episode 8 happened, even during COVID stuff, and they were like, if you don't play our movies and stuff like that, you're not gonna get any more movies from us, because the theater owners are actually, they do this thing where like they have a revenue split where it's like usually like 70% of ticket sales goes to the company and they keep 30%. Where Disney was like, you're gonna give us like 90%, and you get to keep 10 because we're Disney and we know that we're gonna bring so much foot traffic and you're gonna play by our rules no matter what. And so they were forced to like, well, shit, what are we gonna do? Not play this movie?
I mean, it was Disney. So Disney has that, and that's why I think they do that, because when especially the thing is about these big companies, like they can sneak and do this stuff without people really knowing. Like if Quentin Tarantino didn't like come out and speak on it, like hey, that could have been a situation that went under the radar. So that's why I think these people be doing that, just to make sure ain't nobody slipping and doing illegal shit under the or not necessarily illegal, but bend the rules. Strong arming. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. Amazon declined to comment on the Journal report. An FTC spokeswoman said the agency does not confirm the existence of investigations, as we have no further comment on this. That's kind of funny how like the FTC's like, no comment. Word that the FTC will be heading up the review for Amazon MGM comes after Lena Khan, an outspoken critic of big tech companies, including Amazon, was sworn in as the agency's chair on June 15th. President Biden appointed Khan, a Democrat, as an FTC commissioner in March. Last week, he named her the head of the agency. Amazon hasn't said when it expects the MGM deal to close. The e-commerce giant is expecting to mine MGM properties like the James Bond, Pink Panther, and Rocky franchises for a new originals to feed into the global Prime Video service. If it secures regulatory approval, the MGM deal would be Amazon's second largest acquisition, behind the company's $13.7 billion purchase of Whole Foods in 2017. God damn, I didn't know they owned Whole Foods.
Shit, I didn't either.
I know they own Twitch, by the way.
I knew they owned
So
Twitch,
I'm like,
I
damn.
know they own Whole Foods.
Amazon be owning everything.
They getting money. They trying to take over the entire world.
They actually are.
Man, that's just crazy.
They started off as a bookseller, like on eBay.
I mean, and it's crazy because I was just talking to a friend, Tony, about Amazon and how like they started off by just getting a bunch of people to invest in them, like based off of nothing. Like they were just so good at what of having a plan and stuff like that. They had a lot of people investing in them, and it was like, how the hell you get investors based off of nothing? But it's crazy, man. Amazon taking over the world.
They want you to own. They want you to buy through Amazon. They want you to have your Prime Video. They want you to be your grocery store. They want to be your.
I mean, and the one thing that I don't have a problem with Amazon is they do everything so well. Like they do everything well, so you can't. They make great movies. They
They deliver fast.
They deliver fast. They got great regimens. Like they do the stuff they do well. So you can't complain too much.
All right, so I think that's it for the that was it for the top news. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the extra news. So let me get this prepped here. All right, so extra news, not a whole lot going on in extra news here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and read these headlines. Not a whole lot to talk about. Number one, Quentin Tarantino still insists that he's retiring after his next movie. Number two, WandaVision's second end credit scene was quote patched or edited, leading some to speculate that Doctor Strange was added in. Number three, a supernatural prequel, The Winchesters series, is in development with Jensen Ackles serving as producer. Number four, Transformers: Rise of the Beast has cast Ron Perlman as Optimus Primal with June 24th, 2022 release date. And number five, Dune, the movie that's very anticipated, has been delayed just 3 more weeks to October 22nd. And I kind of want to read this article real quick, but I have no idea why are you shifting it from like October 1st to October 22nd.
Yeah, that don't make any sense. Especially it's already been delayed, so people are already like, and what is 3?
This movie's done.
Yeah, it's done, and like, what is 3 weeks doing? Like, I don't know. That's ridiculous to me.
Yes.
I don't know what they got going on.
Troy, slim pickings here. Anything you want to talk about?
I mean, Quentin Tarantino saying how he's still gonna retire after his next movie. That really makes me sad. Him being my favorite director, and I think that's gonna be a blow to Hollywood because he's one of the last directors that can get a very high budget and do whatever he wants, and it's gonna be original. So it's like anytime Quentin Tarantino has a movie coming out, it's gonna be original. It's not gonna be based off anything. It's not gonna be a sequel, prequel, and it's gonna be a big budget. So it's not like one of these indie films. I like the small indie movies either, but it's gonna go through the Hollywood system, and it's gonna be an original take on a movie. And like we don't have enough of that in Hollywood. Like it's mostly everything. It's very hard to get movies lit for big budget original movies in Hollywood. And Quentin Tarantino is one.
Do it, yeah.
Him and like Christopher Nolan, and like it's only a few that can do it. And so the fact that he's leaving, that's going to be a big blow to Hollywood in terms of like getting original content, coming out there. But I'm just happy he's doing one more and he's not like retiring after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So I can't wait to see what his last movie is going to be. I hope that it's just all bullshit and he's going to do a couple more. But I think he's serious, but I hope that he ends up doing another one.
I just kind of want him to direct like a $100 million plus movie. Because like I feel like he's done movies that are like, 20, 30, $50 million. Like I feel like they're not spectacle. They're not like on that Christopher Nolan Inception level, Dunkirk level, kind of like big, big concept. Like, I don't know. That's not to say that he does have spectacle in his films, things like Kill Bill and stuff like that. Yeah. He has spectacle, but like I want to see him do like something grand and stuff like that. Yeah. Which I guess maybe that's not his style. That's not Quentin Tarantino.
I mean, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I believe it was like 90. It was up there. I don't know. Like, let's look
into that. Say, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood
budget.
All right, let's see what comes up here. It says here 90 to 96
million. So that's about 100 million. Like,
shit.
You know what I'm saying? So, and if I'm not mistaken, that's not his biggest budget he done had. So he done hit 100 million for sure, and that's pretty much 100 million. So, but that's what I mean. Like him and Nolan are like the last two, because who's gonna say for a movie like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, here goes $100 million, like for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Here's Brad Pitt and here's Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, make it happen.
Make it happen, what? Right? You're not gonna get that. So like that, it just it makes me sad that But I hope he goes out with a bang. Like I hope his next movie
is like
one of the best
S
movies.
tier. Like, oh my god, it's the best Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. I hope he goes out with a bang. If you're gonna quit after 10, you gotta make sure this last one gonna be special.
It says here, I was just sort of like skimming through the article. He was on Real Time with Bill Maher, and he was sitting down, and he was doing a segment where he was just talking to him, and he says, Bill Maher told him, he says, "You're too young to quit. You're at the top of the game. You're on top of your game." Yeah. And then to which Tarantino responded, "That's why I want to quit, because I know film history, and from here on in, directors do not get better."
Yeah, I mean, but that's cap because Martin Scorsese, he about 90, or 80 something. He's still making like some of the best movies.
Irishman and shit,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, to be fair though, I understand what he means. Like a lot of the great directors, if you look at their last movies, they fell off first, and I think he's trying to avoid that pitfall.
Yeah,
You know,
he wants to go out on top.
On top,
before
yeah.
he doesn't want to jump the shark. All
Yeah.
those kind of things.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense, and I think like from like a legacy perspective, you know how like whenever like a famous person dies,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then they're one of the greatest rappers of all time.
Yeah,
or whatever
right,
the hell.
right.
You know, that kind of thing. I feel like he's sort of like he's not dying, but he's killing his career.
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
way, and so
yeah.
then he's got a catalog
where he's
that
a
you
legend.
can always
yeah. I mean, I understand it. That makes sense. You know, that definitely makes sense. I think the selfish fans out there that want to see him do 20 more
Yeah.
are gonna be hurt. But I think he's looking at it like, look, you know, I've given this, you know, everything I had to offer, and that's it. But it makes me sad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be pissed off if Nolan says some shit like this next, and then, damn, we're screwed.
So I watched the WandaVision like post-credit scenes of it. So they updated it so it's different. They color corrected certain things. They added a red flash of like Scarlet Witch power like on the end credit scene.
So it's different from the end credit scene that we seen.
we're watching March back when the season finale happened.
Yeah.
They changed it. Like they basically
Oh, shit.
they re-uploaded the video.
Oh.
And so like I don't know if you know this, but Game of Thrones they had like a goof, like an error where somebody's Starbucks coffee was
I seen that. Yeah,
was in the
I
actual
remember that.
shot. in the
Yeah, I
background.
remember that. Yeah.
And so what they had to do is for like 24 hours that Starbucks coffee was there, but then they HBO re-uploaded it.
Yeah.
And they digitally removed the
it.
Starbucks coffee.
Yeah.
So they're basically doing a correction where they added like they did some quick color corrections, and they added a flash of light, you know, at the end. You know, like whenever you hear, you watched it, right? And you know how like they were like, mom, and then
Yeah,
she like, you know,
yeah.
like looks and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, instead of it going like cutting to black, they just made it, you know, flash red.
But why though? Like, do they feel like? I mean, did they like? Cause with the Game of Thrones situation, they messed up.
Yeah.
But it's like, what did they feel like they messed up with this? Like, why did they do that?
So the people were speculating that they needed more time for CGI because they were rushing. They were going down to the wire to get this premiered in time because of COVID and all these delays. So they were trying to make sure they meet their deadline, and apparently they wanted certain shots to look a certain way, as well as there's people were thinking that it's Doctor Strange because there's this like floating figure in the woods. Like if you like look at the shot frame by frame, you can see like somebody in a cape is levitating through the trees.
Really?
Towards the house.
I mean, and I heard Doctor Strange was supposed to be in the post credit scene, and I remember thinking like, why would y'all take him out? That's like such a great post credit scene, even if he wasn't in the thing. Like that would have been such. And I was rumored that was the case, so that might make sense. They might have not have had time. It was like, oh shit, like
they like color corrected the trees. They also like removed some like rocks and stuff in the water.
Yeah.
But basically, so you could see like this floating figure who's sort of like he's got this cape on, and he's like, and the people are thinking it's Doctor Strange.
So you could literally see it in the thing.
It's literally just this tiny little fucking speck in the woods. It's like it's like a kind of like a ghost. He's like sort of like levitating.
Oh shit!
And it's like people were saying, oh, that's Doctor Strange. He's going to see Wanda. He's in his astral form and all this other stuff. And I'm like, man, that's a lot of. People are like, that's a lot of like mental gymnastics for this.
Yeah,
little,
I mean, listen,
people,
people love to jump to conclusions with stuff, you know. But my only thing would be like, if y'all corrected it, why would y'all have something floating in the background? It's like, cause y'all, this is the correction version. So why would y'all have something? But again, you know, with WandaVision, they did a lot of bullshit with the WandaVision series where they had shit that wasn't relevant at all, but for speculation purposes, they had, you know, something going on. But
okay, so basically, there's an original, and this like it almost doesn't even look like.
I can't
it can't
really
even tell. Yeah,
it's like a little more snow, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But basically, As you can see right here, like they removed some stuff here to make it more like visible.
See, this
But
is
like,
just
yeah, you see like those very like small little nitpicky things,
Yeah,
right?
like, what the
but
fuck?
like somewhere, I can't remember where, but somewhere over here or like in this general area, you're supposed to see like this apparition ghost thing, sort of like levitating. And he's supposed. It's like moving towards the house, the cabin. It's like you see him.
Yeah.
And this is obviously a still. I can't play Where's Waldo right now, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
basically you can sort of see that there's like a small difference and stuff like that of like and I'm like,
I guess, man, but like I know WandaVision did do that a lot. That's one, and I loved WandaVision.
also you can see right here, but you can see there's color correction here.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
I
you
see
see
it.
how like the grass is not as like
Yeah.
darker, the water is a little darker. Like they just color corrected. Like most of
They
it,
added trees to
Most
it.
of it is color correction than it is, yeah. And yeah, they
Yeah.
did add trees here, as you can see from here and there.
Yeah, I mean, like, WandaVision did that a lot in the show, and that shit was annoying. Where they'll have stuff like it's setting up something, or they'll have little things intentionally that have fans talking and that don't lead to nothing. So it wouldn't surprise me if they just said, "Hey, let's just throw something there floating and just have them thinking that it's something." You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't surprise me.
You know, it's kind of funny is like movies are now turning into movies and TV shows now that they're on streaming services. Now it's kind of like video games. You know how video games get patched?
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's
now like they
them.
patched WandaVision.
Yeah, that's basically it.
They patched Game of Thrones, and now it's like shit.
It's messed
It's
up.
like-
Let's just patch it.
No more director's cuts. Let's just patch them.
It's messed up because what if I like the original one? Like, yeah,
It's not there anymore.
yeah, that's cold, man.
That
Like,
means you
what if-
can't. When you watch it, you're only watching the new one. Now.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I think one day in the future that's gonna annoy me. This right here, I didn't care, but what if I like something that they change? What if I wanted the Starbucks coffee in Game of Thrones? Like, real talk, man. God.
That was hilarious. Don't really have anything to say about Supernatural. I love Supernatural. There was like 15 seasons of it. I'm glad that Jensen Ackles, who was the star, one of the stars of Supernatural, is going to be a producer on it. Transformers: Rise of the Beast. I believe it's a new live-action Transformers movie that's coming out. So I guess Ron Perlman is now going to be Optimus Prime. I don't know what Optimus Prime will, but I guess they're just sort of. I guess I kind of like the voice of Optimus Prime in the Shia LaBeouf movies and stuff like that. I don't know why they're not bringing him back.
I mean, he probably done making them. I mean, that's crazy because you gotta understand, it's like they gonna make these Transformers movies infinite to like infinity. Like he probably like, bro, I'm sick of being Optimus Prime. Like, who knows? But
Yeah, I mean Ron Perlman's a big name actor, so there's that. Also, it's
Yeah.
coming out next year, in like a year from now, actually.
hey, but that last Transformer movie,
Bumblebee?
Bumble,
Yeah.
man, that was a solid movie. That's the best Transformers movie out of all of them.
True.
Yeah, so
Fair
like
enough.
that, I was surprised.
And also, by the way, from the article, it was talking about Beast Wars, that they're gonna be like covering some Beast Wars in this movie.
Oh,
So,
that's dope.
and also let's read this. Let's pull up this article here. Like, I need to know. I need to see if this article gives us like an actual reason. Let's see here. Blah, 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 the main. Okay, the movie was part of a larger release date shuffle by Warner Brothers on Friday. The Many Saints of Newark was pushed back 1 week, which was taking the original spot held by Dune. That's why, is because this movie called The Many Saints of Newark is taking October 1st, and they're like, oh, let's not.
Yeah, like that's probably like
Oh, it's The Sopranos. Okay, The Sopranos prequel. Okay, The Sopranos. Okay, that makes sense. HBO owns The Sopranos as Warner Brothers, so you would basically put in a situation where Warner Brothers has 2 movies coming out in back-to-back weekends.
Well, why don't they move Sopranos shit? Like Dune is like y'all flagship movie, get that out to your fans as quick as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like Sopranos, no disrespect to Sopranos, but I'm just saying like Dune is the blockbuster film that already got pushed back that people was excited for. Like Dune, trailer views it was so hot, like people was excited for it, but you push that back for this little goofy shit. I don't know, like. I understand it, because I think they're just shuffling things for, better times for movies to drop and stuff. But I just wanted to see it quick as possible. If anything, move it up, shit.
Well, at least I'll put it to you this way. I think this might be better. October 22nd is almost like November 1st. And things that open on November 1st generally tends to be like the holiday box office.
Yeah.
And if you think about like movies that come out on Christmas, maybe there's a potential like this movie could still be playing in theaters on Christmas.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If it comes out on October 22nd, maybe, just depending on the theater itself. But like, it could play longer. But yeah, basically, Warner Brothers just like rejiggered their calendar and I guess they just sort of like did it this way to make it work.
It just
I guess.
annoys me because I've been waiting for Doom so long, and it's like, pretty much here. Wait another few weeks. It's like, man, bro.
All right, so that's it for the news. So yeah, we got a lot of good trailers coming up here. So let's go ahead and get some copyright claims in and check this out.
Check this out.
We can actually do some dances and stuff because we're on video now. So for check this out, there's actually a shit ton of trailers, and this is last week. You missed a bad week for trailers. It was kind of like a little lukewarm on trailers. This week is actually hot,
and
spicy.
it's
So we
picked
got
up.
some good trailers here. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just mute that because I don't want to get totally screwed over. But there was a mid-season trailer for Loki. So this mid-season trailer basically shows almost all the footage, like 90% of the footage or 95% of the footage is footage from the first 3 episodes. So when I heard of like, oh, it's a mid-season trailer, I was thinking like, oh, it's a trailer for like the next 4, 5, and 6 episodes. No. This trailer has almost like nothing new as far as footage goes. We get quick little glimpses of like footage from like next episode and maybe even the finale, but like it's very like no context given. So nothing too excited to write home about. But have you actually seen this footage or this trailer?
Nah, I don't watch trailers for or mid, trailers for mid series stuff because it's like you don't want nothing spoiled, but then if they show a lot of stuff from the past, it's like, oh, I already seen that already. So it's like a lose-lose situation. Like, I don't want to see any frames of nothing that I haven't seen yet because I'm about to see it.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to see a bunch of stuff I've seen already either because I already seen it. So I usually just don't watch these.
Yeah, like this. Like this is like, oh yeah, it's like
Right, but this is for the people that like maybe haven't seen it yet or haven't got on into it yet, and like they're trying to convince them to like
jump on board.
Jump on board, yeah. But for the people that's already on board, it's like it does nothing for them.
like that's new right there.
Yeah.
So basically, like it's quick glimpses of like this is new and stuff. It's quick. Most of all the new stuff is at the end, by the way. It's quick glimpses of stuff that we've already seen before, and it's nothing like I would say, it doesn't feel like giving anything away. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next trailer here, and I'm gonna just go ahead and pull up all the trailers here and my tabs here just so I can make it easier on myself. The next trailer is going to be Halloween Kills, and I gotta tell you this right now, Troy. This trailer is like insane and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It picks up immediately after the last
The
Halloween
last
movie.
one, yeah. I like how more and more movies are starting to do that.
Like A Quiet Place and stuff like that.
A Quiet Place, yeah. I really love this idea, and the last movie was so good. They brought Halloween back to where it needs to be, where it deserved to be, and I felt like the way the last movie ended, I think it's a good idea to pick it up right up because it's like, did he die?
Oh my God! Look at this shit. It's gonna get.
Yeah.
He just kills like all the firefighters in one fell swoop. Like
and one of the things they're doing with the Halloween movies is they're making it more like an action. They're making it more like from an action point of view. It's not just like horror. Wait till you like we're seeing some fun, cool shit like blockbuster, cool action. You know what I'm saying? Stuff in this. So yeah, I'm excited. The trailer blew me away.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the firefighter sequence and stuff like that, where like there was this cool shot in the trailer that we saw just a few moments ago, where like you can see like the footage from a first person perspective with the face mask on, with the firefighter thing. That was pretty cool. I thought that was interesting. It's kind of this movie is like all kinds of like bloody and the stakes are right.
And what I like about it so much is one of the things I hope they did, because I knew they was going to make a sequel to this because of how successful the last one was. But one of the things I hope they didn't do that situation where they just don't explain it. Like he clearly is in a situation where he dies day one and then it goes into the next one like he's back. And like you don't need to know why he's back because it makes him feel so immortal that it's like, well, there's no point. There's no way to kill him, which takes away some of the horror. But it's like they explain it. They kind of give you how he survived the burning house. They saved him. So I think that was pretty cool.
They were like, no, don't save him. He was like, yeah. So we'll go ahead and let me just read this description here. It's going to come out in theaters this October 15th, coming up. So we don't have a long wait here to go. And of course, it's bringing back Jamie Lee Curtis, and it's a Blumhouse movie, of course. So
The best in the business.
the best in the business when it comes to horror. Now this one's dope right here. Shang-Chi, the new Shang-Chi trailer come out.
God.
Oh my God, dude. There's like a bit of a spoiler at the end of this trailer, but we'll go ahead and let me ask you, Troy, have you seen this trailer already?
Hell
and
yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Man, it's crazy because I like the last trailer, but I like this trailer even more than the last trailer. Like it's just more badass. You know what I'm saying? It feels more badass. I kind of wish they didn't have a spoiler at the end because imagine seeing
And then you just like
Abomination
yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah,
It's like
and you're surprised. Yeah,
because like you haven't seen him since the Hulk, and it's like, and then I wouldn't expect Abomination
to show up in this movie.
Yeah,
of all fucking things.
yeah, so that would have just blew my mind or whatever. But regardless, it's cool that he's coming back to see him in this. But yeah, man, Shang-Chi is gonna be it's probably my most anticipated of the new Marvel movies that's coming out. So not including like Thor or Spider-Man, but of like the new characters that are coming out in Marvel. This is probably my most anticipated. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this movie more than I am Black Widow, which is crazy.
Oh yeah,
but
for sure.
I just wanted to say real quick that like. You know, one of the funny things about the contracts that like Marvel has and stuff with their actors is like the actor that plays Abomination, I think his name is Tim Roth.
Tim Roth, yeah.
So Tim Roth, I wonder if his old contract is still in play here, because back when they signed for these movies, they said they were signed for like multi-film deals, and obviously a Hulk 2 never happened.
Yeah,
But
it wouldn't surprise me if he's not even in the movie. Like he's all CGI through the whole. Like it wouldn't surprise me if they show him just kind of how they did with Hulk and the Thor Ragnarok, how he's like 90% or if not all of just the Hulk through the whole movie.
Well, I mean, like with the Hulk, Mark Ruffalo he does the motion capture.
The motion capture, but
Yeah.
see the difference with
there he is,
Abomination.
right there.
The difference with Abomination is they don't even need him to do the motion capture because like if you go back and look at him and as Abomination in the Hulk movie, this is nothing like it. It's like a completely different. So it wouldn't surprise me if they just got a new voice actor and said, "Here, go ahead."
Well, no, Tim Roth is coming back, by the way.
Oh, he is?
In She-Hulk, he was confirmed.
Oh yeah,
to
well
be-
for that it's different because
Yeah.
he's gonna have a bigger role. Like he's actually, I'm sure this is just a cameo. Like he's probably gonna come for that badass fight scene in the cage, and then that's it.
Speaking of which, I just wanted to give a quick right here, like this little moment. I just wanted to give a quick little little spiel. Is earlier in this podcast series, I recommended everyone to go check out, or like for Netflix and chill. My recommendation for that week was Enter the Dragon, the Bruce Lee movie.
Yeah.
And people are already speculating that this movie is going to have like an Enter the Dragon plot line where he's going to enter a tournament, and this might be that tournament.
Oh, that'll be cool.
And
that'll be
so-
like some Mortal Kombat, Enter the Dragon type of shit. Yeah, that'll be
so
fucking
basically, like Marvel is doing an homage to Enter the Dragon.
I mean, and that goes to show how badass he is if he's fighting Obama. Like, you don't realize this dude was better than the Hulk. Like, he's more of a beast than the Hulk, really. Like, Hulk came back and won, but, like, he was whooping the shit out of the Hulk if you go back and watch that. So, for him to even be in the ring with him.
And win.
Like, Jesus Christ.
So there we go. So that's a good one. By the way, it's kind of funny as how, like, for check this out, we're showing the trailers. It's almost kind of like, of course, link in the YouTube description for all the trailers as well as the show notes. You can check out and watch the trailers as well. I gotta just give a quick plug on that. But yeah, you'll be seeing the trailers on the screen, but in silent movie form as we talk about it. The next trailer is The Harder They Fall, and this is an Idris Elba, Jonathan Majors, Regina King joint that's coming out on Netflix. And it's like the who's who of big name black actors in this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, Netflix is doing a Western movie. So have you seen this trailer, and what are your
did.
thoughts? Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, I seen it because I've been hearing about this like months in the past, and I'm excited about it because Regina King, I just love to see her get more roles. I've always been a Regina King fan, and like I always felt like she was kind of like cast out of Hollywood, not for any reason, but I was always wondering, like, she's always such a good actress in some of the movies I seen early on, and then when she won the Oscar, it was cool to see her, get roles like in Watchmen, the television series, and then I kept up, she got this role or whatever. So I heard about this movie a while back. I wanted to check it out, and it looks stereotypical for like a Western, but I mean, I'm willing to give it a try and check it out.
It gives me like a Tarantino flair, like in this thing. Like I don't know why, but this trailer kind of gives me like that Django Unchained kind of like, I don't know. It just seems like it's like that flavor, and I don't know. This feels like, is it wrong for me to say like poor man's Django or something like that?
I mean, listen, if you have a black man that taking place back during the times of like,
but it's also like this trailer is so stylized to like bloody and like, oh, let's.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably trying to appeal to the same people that like Django, you know. But I don't know. For me, I mean, I'm willing to check it out. I'm more excited that Regina King is getting a little role. But I never bought these movies that take place in like westerns, but back in the day they were racist. So like that's one of the things I loved about Django is like they kept it real. Like they showed the racist times, but I don't see how people can be gunmen and stuff back in those times. But whatever, I might be taking it too serious, but it looks pretty cool.
By the way, like there's a lot of blood motifs happening in the trailers. If you see like the blood spatter and the text and stuff like that. So I'm just saying like it's taking its cues from Django, and I was just saying like in general like it does feel like that's what they were going for, but I don't know. I've seen many westerns, and I don't know. It's a Netflix. I'm sure I'll check it out. Let's look at the description here. This usually the IGN. I get these trailers from IGN. Usually these descriptions are always good at putting the release date on there. So for whatever reason they did not. So let's see if this trailer actually gives us a release date here. Coming soon. What?
Yeah, I hate when they do that.
There's no fucking release date. Okay, whatever. In select theaters, so that's cool. Now this is a trailer that I personally hated, and they put this trailer on Fast 9, by the way. And look at the way it starts.
Oh, that's weird. That creep, like, what you trying to creep all the kids out? Like, yeah, let's make sure no kids want to see this. Like, come on, now, that's bad marketing.
So yeah, have you seen this trailer before?
Absolutely not.
Okay, it's Sing 2, a sequel that we never asked for.
Yeah.
Have you seen Sing 1?
No.
Okay, I actually did see Sing 1, but that's because they played it in like our job as like for like an assembly and stuff like that.
I barely even remember seeing one. Like I don't even remember a movie called Sing. Like unless I see
it's the same characters, by the way. Like if you've seen these character models, like these characters.
Yeah, I don't think
then that was the first movie.
Yeah, I never seen Sing then.
Okay, so in Sing, like it's basically like a glorified music video, where like they have all these actors doing covers of songs, of popular songs. So they're like, I guess you can't really tell with the audio, but literally throughout the entire trailer, they're literally doing cover songs of pop songs.
Oh wow!
So it's like literally,
I don't care too much.
They spent a lot of money on like on
getting the rights
and stuff like that. Yeah. So I just want to say that this trailer. I mean, the first movie was actually pretty good. But I don't need a sequel to it, and this movie just feels like a good cash grab. Much like everything on Hollywood, but this one very much so. Yeah. But yeah, I don't really want to say anything about it other than just to say, hey, look, there's a new trailer. I watched it. I didn't like it. I mean, the movie might be better, but this trailer does not do it any favors. It stars Matthew McConaughey, Reese Witherspoon, and Scarlett Johansson. Damn. It's going to be in theaters this Christmas. Oh. All right. From a bad trailer to a good trailer. Candyman.
Candyman. I didn't even see this trailer.
Oh, my God,
I seen the first trailer.
All right, so this trailer, like, it's so good.
I did see. I seen the beginning of the trailer. I didn't see the whole thing.
Yeah,
but that shit was
good.
creepy.
This right here, this part where they're giving you like the backstory.
Yeah, that shit was creepy.
Form.
It was crazy. It creeped me out even more because I didn't know what this was when I was watching this. I'm like, damn, there's some scary shit. What the fuck is this? And then I think once it got revealed it was Candyman, I think I clicked away or something. But yeah.
Why?
I mean, not on purpose, but I knew what it was. So
you don't want to like ruin it. You don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, I knew what it was. I seen the first trailer. I was already on board. So I'm like, all right, I know what this is. I'm gonna go on and do something.
Yeah. This trailer is scary as fuck, man. They're like saying Candyman in front of the mirror. Oh, look at that! It's inverted because it's a mirror.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just thought it was really cool. It's very creepy, and Jordan Peele.
See, the only thing that got me hesitant about this movie is that lead actor. I'm not a big fan of. Like, Like when anything I see him in, to me, he's just not a great actor. Now maybe he's better in this, and maybe he's gotten better. But like
Yahya Abdul-Mateen?
Yeah, when I see him and stuff, I'll be like, he's just not doing it for me. Like, especially, I think I said in Aquaman, I didn't buy him that well as the Black Manta, but I don't know.
Oh shit, that's him?
Yeah, that's him. But again, I don't know. He might be good in this, and he might carry this pretty well. So who knows? But that's just one of my things that I'm kind of skeptical.
He was like, you killed my father.
Yeah, like I'm like, come on, bro. This acting
Even
is
though
trash.
y'all were like attacking him.
Yeah,
like
it's like this acting is kind of trash, bro. But again, he might be better in this shit. But this shit do look a little scary. So.
Yeah, it's intense. I can actually recognize his face now when he's doing that face.
Yeah,
I remember that Black Manta face.
He didn't do it for me as Black Manta, bro. I was like, nah, man.
By the way, look at this. They put the actual title of the video. They put Jordan Peele's name on there. He's not a director. He's the producer.
Well, yeah, that's how you know that's that marketing bullshit they try to pull.
Oh, it's got Jordan Peele's name on there.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many people that they fool with that. Like, they'll think they're directing because they don't really know. Like, I've had so many friends like, hey, bro, you see the new movie coming out by so-and-so? And I'm like, he's producing that. He's not directing it. Like, and they know that, and that's why they'll just put his name at the top. Like, nah.
Or like, what do you call it? And they'll put like from the people that brought you this movie. Or better yet, they were like from producer. And
producer
the producer
small
part
as
is
fuck.
small font.
And then the
they
big
put
ass name.
James Cameron's name in big font.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. They do that so much. They fool so many people with that.
So I just want to put this out here again. I love the descriptions because they give me the release date, August 27th. That's the end of. That's the last weekend of the summer.
Yes, sir.
So it's eligible for the top 10
Man,
movies.
if this movie is good and Halloween is good, that's two big hits. And we already got A Quiet Place and The Conjuring. So this will be a solid year for horror if them two movies deliver on a big level too, on a big blockbuster level.
All right, Out of Death is a Bruce Willis movie, and it stars Jamie King as well. Let's take a look at the release date.
Jamie King?
Yeah.
Who is that?
Some white chick. So July 16th, it's going to be in theaters and on demand here in a couple weeks. That's Jamie King. No, wait, that's not Jamie King. But yeah, basically, it's a movie about a retired cop. Bruce Willis is a retired cop. That's Jamie King. Basically, Jamie King's character just stumbles upon like a dirty cop who kills a witness, like or whatever. Like, she just goes out there and just kills him right there, like boom. And she's like, oh shit! She makes an accidental noise, and now it's like, okay, we gotta hunt her down. And she's like, you know what? Oh, what do I do? We gotta whatever. And I was like, you know what? Go handle it. Don't make me come out there. And then. So she's gonna go out there and kill her, and because she's like, you shouldn't have seen that. And then Bruce Willis just happens to come on right by and just like
this movie looked trash. It looked trash. I mean, and the thing with Bruce Willis, he only be in trash movies. Like if it's Bruce Willis, I already know. Oh, it's trash. It's like he says no to good movies. Like, no, oh, this good. It's too good for me. Like, but yeah, this looks trash. But I don't know.
Well, yeah, basically that's what it's about. It's just like him protecting a witness. She's got like the video evidence, the pictures evidence of whatever of her like being a dirty cop. By the way, this color grading sucks ass. By the way,
it's a terrible color. It's so dull.
Yeah,
and I think they probably did that on purpose to give it like a
low budget
suspenseful, like a suspenseful kind of feel to it. But Jesus Christ, I hate it. It looks gray. Like what the fuck, man? And yeah, man, it sucks. And I already tell something that I seen that was bad. It's like, and they do this so much in movies where they have so much time to kill her, but they wait for the dude to come save her. Like, why are y'all pointing the gun at her? She's on her knees. Y'all looking at her. It's like the dude could have killed her when he first hit her. Like, but yeah, I don't know.
All right, so that's that one. So it's gonna be like I said, like literally like what 3 weeks away or something like that, July 16th. So
Oh, this is gonna bomb. Yeah.
Select theaters, I would say. Whenever you says in theaters and on demand, it means usually select theaters.
Yeah, it's gonna bomb.
It's gonna go straight to iTunes.
I don't understand why do people put the trailer out 2 weeks and it's about to come out. You something like this, you know it's gonna bomb. Like, come on, man.
It's gonna be. You'll see it on iTunes and Google Play. What if it makes it to the top 10 of iTunes when we do the
It
charts?
wouldn't surprise me because iTunes has some weird shit on there. Like, I don't know. That wouldn't surprise me.
That'd be so funny if you're like, you know what? And Troy, this week on Netflix and Chill, #1 on iTunes is Out of Death,
It's like,
starring Bruce Willis.
And then the next week, it's like not even in the top 10.
It's happened before actually. I'm gonna skip this next trailer because I want to save the best for last. But Black Widow had a 1-minute spot. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Black Widow has so many goddamn trailers and so many spots and so many things. I feel like I've seen the whole movie right now. And also, not to mention, they always use the same footage. They reuse the same footage to make it and act like it's a brand new trailer when we're not seeing anything new. But yeah, just a 1-minute thing. Black Widow.
This movie been through so much. I think this is one of the movies that pandemic hurt the most.
You think
so? Because I think they went on full marketing with this. Like they went full marketing, multiple trailers, TV spots, ads, all kind of stuff. Boom, pandemic hit, and so it's like.
And then you got to do it again.
And then you got to do it again.
And then put more footage out.
Yeah, then it's like you don't want to put too much out, but then it's like. Then you're gonna be reusing the same shit,
and
so
it's
it's a lose-lose situation. So yeah, the pandemic hurt this one.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely not as much excitement right now, but yeah,
I'm not excited for it at all. I'm not even gonna lie, at all. Like, so we're gonna see those coming out in 9 days or about 10 days.
Yeah, pretty much. July 9th is literally right around the corner. We'll be covering it for new releases on next week's podcast.
Oh yeah.
Finally, the big trailer that Troy really wanted to talk about was the brand new Suicide Squad trailer. Dude, this makes Idris Elba look badass. He's like, you shot Superman with the kryptonite bullet and put him in the ICU.
It made him look fucking dope.
I was like,
and that's crazy because this is to me the best trailer. And like I've liked the other Suicide Squad trailer, but like Shang-Chi, like this topped the other trailers because it shows how like. Of course, it's gonna be funny and weird and shit, but it has some character depth to it, like kind of sprinkled in there a little bit. So it just looks like a blast, man. Like and what I love about it is it seems so original and different. Like for not DC, but for all comic book films to continue, they have to be different and feel original. Like if they all start to feel the same, that's gonna make comic book movies go away. Cause like everybody gonna be like, I've seen this shit before, but like when you watch something like this, it looks completely original. Like even from the last Suicide movie, which was a trash. So I'm excited. They using characters I just never thought they would use, like King Shark or Mongo. Like some of these characters are like the Weasel. It's like what the hell? Like it's crazy. So I'm excited.
The kind of characters that you stay in comic book form.
Stay in comic, it's like certain certain characters you see and be like, okay, that's good only for a cartoon or a comic book, but you can't bring that to life. But James Gunn being James Gunn, I never thought a raccoon would work on the big screen in live action either, but he made that work, and he made a tree, the Groot work, and so he's the master at doing this kind of shit.
A tree that only says "I am Groot" for all his lines.
Right. So I'm excited.
Yeah, let's take a look here. I believe it's August, or let's see here. HBO Max and theaters August 6th.
Yeah, that's right around the corner too.
Yep. I believe I put this in my top 10 for predictions for like the box office. And yeah, I feel like we stayed on this segment for much longer than I expected here. So we'll go ahead and keep it pushing here to the next segment. And this one might actually be a faster, quicker segment here. We'll go ahead and move on to, let's see here, topic of the show. Here we go. So for topic of the show, let's get that sound effect going here. It's time for topic of the show. So, I actually, Troy, we got a viewer submission.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
hey.
a listener has sent me some articles, and he wanted he wanted you to react.
Oh, okay, great.
So he's
that's
like,
great news. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, he's like, hey, let me know what Troy thinks of this. And I'm like, okay, we'll make it happen. And so
for sure.
I've not briefed Troy on any of this stuff. He does not know what we're going to be talking about. And we're going to just see what he thinks. And I don't really know if this is much of a topic. So I always say this a lot whenever it's usually 20 minutes. But I always say, oh, this could be a quick one. But then we stay on it for 20 minutes, which.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? But
who knows with us?
Who knows? We'll go ahead and read this article here. Dave Bautista, he says he isn't down to work with Dwayne Johnson and John Cena.
Damn.
Ooh, like does that feel like shade to you? Just
it does feel like shade a little bit because I think they all came from the same place,
WWE.
wrestling. Yeah, so I think it is this feel of like, oh, let's make a WWE fight in a movie. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I think he's coming from someone that's taking his career serious.
Yeah.
He don't want to be like, oh, let's just do a I mean, no offense to wrestling, but I think he's saying like, I don't want to just be a wrestler in a movie. I'm a real actor, you know. So
actually, that's what we're gonna get into
so
later.
Yeah, I think that's probably what that is.
So what's kind of funny is like Rock has been in like Fast 5 through 8. Yeah. And then John Cena came in for Fast 9, and I was talking to myself. I was like, "Man, John Cena better come back for Fast 10, and they better bring back The Rock, so I can see a John Cena versus The Rock.
Yeah.
I want to see that happen. Oh
but
my God.
I mean, and I think to me that's fun. Like I'm into that shit. Like seeing like them wrestle, or I mean, like seeing wrestlers come in and have a badass on-screen fight. Yeah,
like it's like that Jackie Chan versus Jet Li fight that happened in the Forbidden Kingdom.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm into that, but I think he probably ain't looking at that like that. So
so like, dude, I want to see like a 4-way Mexican standoff kind of fight with like Vin Diesel, Dwayne Johnson, John Cena, and Dave Bautista.
Yeah, I mean, and fun fact, John Cena and The Rock are both in the DCEU.
Actually, this article is going to point that out. You're all about this article before even reading it. All right, let's pull up this article here and see what we got. What we can glean from this. You can tell that it continues to rankle with Dave Bautista that he keeps finding himself compared to Hollywood's other premier WWE grapplers, even though the Guardians of the Galaxy star has continually gone out of his ways to distance himself from both Dwayne Johnson and John Cena. Ironically, the latter two have joined the Fast and Furious franchise at various points, something that Bautista has turned down during a meeting with Universal.
That's what I'm talking about.
I did not know about that. Did you know this?
Hell no, but that's what I'm talking about, baby. Turn that shit down.
No, fuck no, man.
Yes.
Oh my God, I will never forgive him for that shit.
Yes, turn that shit down, man.
Hell no, man. I know the series has jumped the shark, but come on, man.
But see, listen, I understand people like you that want it because you want to see that badass fight scene.
Yeah.
But people like me, I'm thinking about his career, and I don't want him to be known as the goofy action star, like, you know what I'm saying?
So Bautista turned down Fast and the Furious. Okay. Not only that, but Cena was cast as Peacemaker in the Suicide Squad after. Oh, okay. Not only that, but Cena was cast as Peacemaker in the Suicide Squad after James Gunn initially wrote that part with Bautista in mind. Before he knocked it back to work with Zack Snyder, meaning that Cena and Johnson are also part of the DCEU, while their former in-ring rival remains part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So what that means is, John Cena's little character that he plays in the Suicide Squad, that was written with Bautista in mind. He turned it down.
But what did he say? What did the article say about a Marvel? Like, what did they say? Marvel? That's DC.
Okay. Yeah, no, he's saying that Bautista is MCU because
because
Bautista is Drax. He's MCU.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's turned down DC.
I mean, because see, here's the thing. Because it seems like he turned that down to be in the Zack Snyder zombie movie or whatever. So, here's the I ain't gonna lie. If I had to make the decision to have a lead,
James Gunn. Lead or supporting. Yeah.
Right, you can have a lead role in a big zombie film working with Zack Snyder. I would prefer to work with James Gunn as a director, but that seems more like who knows what Peacemaker's role is going to be.
It's an ensemble film.
It's an ensemble film or whatever, even though Peacemaker is getting his own show.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, but I don't know. But dang, man, I prefer Bautista as Peacemaker than John Cena.
Plus, we saw the zombie apocalypse movie that on Netflix already, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth turning down a role like this. Like,
Yeah, I mean, again, we haven't seen Suicide Squad yet. Because think about it like this: what if Suicide Squad is like as bad as the first Suicide Squad? It's like fuck. Now I don't think it will be because James Gunn is a phenomenal director or whatever. But I don't know. Maybe at the time it like. If we were read both scripts,
you know that scene where like John Cena was saying is like this why this project code word it remains something about dicks or something like that. Yeah. I can literally hear like Bautista like saying the line.
Bautista saying that. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I would have preferred Bautista. You know, he's just like Bautista. I want him in more comic book shit because he fits his build, his badassery. Like I like him as Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy, but I want him in some other shit too. Like to see him be badass, but. Cena looks fun too, but I agree. I wouldn't mind seeing them two in a film to fight. Like I want to see, Bautista versus The Rock.
Yes,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like that should be lit.
If that wasn't enough, Army of the Dead's leading man has blasted both the Fast saga and The Rock's acting ability on more than one occasion, as well as laughing off the notion of co-starring with Cena in a buddy film. It is no surprise that the 52-year-old was quick to shoot down a fan who daydreamed about the trio finally sharing the screen together.
Yeah.
He put his Twitter right here. The tweet says, "Nah, I'm good." Responding to add Dave Bautista into the mix.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, like it kind of seems like he has shade against them. Like I could understand as an actor if you're taking your job serious. Like I could understand you. Like, look, I don't want to be just wrestler. I don't want you to look at me as a wrestler no more. I'm an actor now, so I could understand him saying no to like movies with him and The Rock fighting or him and John Cena fighting, but it kind of seems like it's some shade if you're talking about The Rock's acting. Like The Rock can act. Like The Rock ain't finna go win an Oscar, but The Rock is a solid actor. Now you talking about his acting and stuff like that, it kind of seems like it's some shade there. So who knows?
Yeah, look at this. This guy, you look at buff.
Yeah, he's a beast. Man.
He's 52 years old, by the way.
God damn.
He celebrates turning 52. Proving he's still jacked. I think Dwayne Johnson, isn't he 58?
Yeah, he's somewhere. They are somewhere up there. Because, you got to remember, they was wrestling, well, at least like The Rock was wrestling, in the 90s. So it wouldn't surprise me if he like 57 or something like that.
Age. Let's see here. He is 49. Okay, I'm wrong.
Oh,
okay.
shit.
49.
We put 10 more years on that band. But
no, it's like I was just thinking, like I thought he was up there. But anyways, Cena has voiced his enthusiasm to rekindle his rivalry. His rivalry with Johnson from the squared circle on the silver screen in a future Fast and Furious blockbuster, but Dave Bautista evidently wants absolutely no part of it, having worked so hard to establish himself in the first place and gained a reputation as arguably a much more capable, dramatic performer than the other two. You can understand why he's been so keen to avoid being lumped into the same category as his contemporaries. So this article right here, this also from We Got This Covered, also gave us like the little bit of the same spiel, and it's about why Dave Bautista blasted Dwayne Johnson, saying he's not a good actor. So acting and professional wrestling have a lot of similarities than you might think. There's a level of performance involved, the showmanship, and the years required to perfect the craft on a smaller stage before finding global recognition and, of course, the fame and glory. It comes as no surprise then that a lot of the names that have tried to jump from the squared circle to the silver screen, experiencing varying degrees of success. As the most famous wrestler on the planet, as for well over a decade, Hulk Hogan might have thought the transition would have been easy, but all of his movies were terrible. Steve Austin, I forgot about that he had an acting stint. Steve Austin, meanwhile, attempted something similar and a decade later, but quickly found himself in the bargain bin action territory. In a strange turn of events, though, three of the most decorated grapplers of the 21st century are all making a big splash in Hollywood at the moment. Dwayne Johnson is the most popular movie star in the world right now. John Cena is starting to turn heads and will enjoy his biggest year ever in 2021's F9, and Suicide Squad later within months of each other. And Dave Bautista is by far the most interesting. He may be part of the MCU, and he's starred in his fair share of drivel, but he's always seeking to challenge himself as an actor. In fact, a recent interview, he was asked his opinion on the former in-ring adversaries Johnson and Cena, and he wasn't shy about letting it be known he doesn't rate them particularly highly. Damn. This quote, "There's something about The Rock that's really special. I'd never take that away from him. Would I consider him a great actor? Fuck no.
Yeah.
The Rock and John Cena are wrestlers who became movie stars. I'm something else. I'm a wrestler. Now I'm an actor. Oh, sorry, wait. I was a wrestler. Now I am an actor. In Dave Bautista's defense, he's got a point. Dwayne Johnson basically plays this same character over and over again, while Cena looks to be following a similar path. Wait, what? While Cena? Oh, yeah, John Cena. While John Cena is also looking to follow a similar path. The Guardians of the Galaxy star, meanwhile, is always testing himself in the likes of Bushwick, Blade Runner 2049, Hotel Artemis, and Dune. Damn, that's a good resume, right?
Yeah, he building something.
And it's quietly building a reputation as a reliable character actor despite his massive fame. So, Troy, do you agree with this assessment about him like being a thespian?
I actually do agree because I feel like, listen, in my last video, I talked about how I think he didn't have the best acting chops. But one thing about Bautista is I feel like he's constantly getting better. And if you pick the right type of movies, it'll make you get better.
Because, he's going to be in that Ryan Johnson movie, Knives Out 2.
Knives Out 2, yeah. So like, and like that resume is solid.
Yeah.
That's a solid resume, and to be starting. And if you look at like the Rock movies, he's only in like what's the big gorilla movie?
Rampage. San Andreas.
The Jumanji, Fast and Furious. Like he's not taking his career, I don't want to say serious, but he's just an action star to be himself in everything.
He's Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, he's Dwayne Johnson. And so I understand what he's saying there. But I do feel like he's kind of going at them. You know, it's kind of like he's trying to distance himself. Like, I'm not one of them, you know.
I'm not just like a shallow entertainer.
Right, and I think it's a little bit of shade there. Even though he has a point, though. He definitely has a point, and he definitely is going for movies to make him, and I feel like that's why he chose the zombie movie, the Zack Snyder movie, over Suicide Squad, because I think that was more of an acting role for him to be a lead and an actor.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a test because he's always been supporting, and now he's a test to
he's trying to carry a movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that's surprising because James Gunn and him are good friends. They work with each other in Guardians of the Galaxy. So you would think that he'll just come on over But I think he really was thinking like, nah, this not, I'm trying to do something a little more than just be the character from Guardians of the Galaxy, so.
Man, I just, you're right. I can see that. But like, man, I am like.
I agree. I want to see them. I want to see them throw hands.
And I want to have my cake and eat it too. He can be a thespian, but I want him to be an action star.
I mean, the thing about it is that's annoying is like none of them have we seen fight yet. Like together, like we haven't seen Cena fight, Rock fight, none of that shit. And I'm like, damn, man, like this is a wasted opportunity. You don't get three.
Like S tier
wrestlers that become actors at the same time.
Oh yeah, bona fide stars.
Working in Hollywood. Usually they fall off and don't work. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin or something. It don't work. But like you have three stars that
are popular and relevant.
And it's like put them in a movie and get them to fight. But
one of the things that I actually didn't like is that when they were Jackie Chan and Jet Li finally did a movie together called The Forbidden Kingdom. I don't know if you remember that movie. It came out in 2008.
I heard of it.
The only thing that was really worth watching that movie was the fight scene between Jackie Chan and Jet Li.
Yeah.
And by the time they got around to making that movie, they were both old.
Oh yeah, it didn't feel the same.
It didn't. Yeah, if they'd have done that action scene like 10 years ago or in the 90s in their prime.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that would have been lovely.
Yeah. But anyways, like my take, I get what Troy's saying, but I think my take is more of like,
more the fun.
Take me as the Fast and Furious fanboy and just, run with that. So we'll go ahead and keep it moving here, and let's see what's next on the dock here. I think it's Netflix and Chill. Yes, Netflix and Chill. So for Netflix and Chill, we got the Netflix charts, the iTunes charts, and our recommendations. So first up on the Netflix charts, I'm actually gonna do what I did last week and actually just pull up the actual sources where I get it. Now get this, Troy. Would you believe that I tell you that I get these straight from Netflix themselves?
What the fuck?
That's how I get.
That's crazy that they got it like that. That's cool.
Yeah. So every time I pull up the doc and where I'm pulling, this is where I get the data from. Is straight from Netflix. So I go to Netflix.com, and there it is, right there. The Ice Road is number 1, which was the Liam Neeson movie that came out last Friday, which is we missed out on new releases. Manifest was the canceled TV show that hopefully gets revived on Netflix. Fatherhood, the Kevin Hart movie, at number 3. Sex Life, and apparently it's a show about this chick that's like falling in love with her like toxic ex-boyfriend or whatever. So I don't know. It's just like, she's and you can see in this little clip is like she's like, oh, let me introduce you to my husband and stuff like that. It's like,
yeah, it's so cliche and stupid sound like, but it does sound like something a lot of chicks would be interested in seeing.
Good on Paper is at number 5. It's a raunch. It says category says deadpan, raunchy, irreverent. Let me see what this thing here says.
Anything that's raunchy, that made me want to go check it out.
After years of putting her career first, a stand-up comic meets a guy who seems perfect, smart, nice, successful, and possibly too good to be true. Oh, okay, Good on Paper. Okay, whatever. So it's a comedy. Too Hot to Handle. Okay, it's a scandalous, soapy, steamy, and it's 2 seasons. Okay. It says, on the shores of paradise, the gorgeous singles meet and mingle, but there's a twist. To win a $100,000 grand prize, they'll have to give up sex? God damn!
I don't know if I could do that.
That is too hot to handle.
That's too much for me. That.
Coco Melon at number 7, The World's Most Amazing Vacation Rentals at number 8, Wish Dragon number 9, and Sweet Tooth at number 10. So yeah, and we're gonna go ahead and skip along to the movies, the movie charts. The top 10 movies on Netflix are in the same order as like the what do you call it? The regular Netflix charts. Number 1 is The Ice Road. Number 2 is Fatherhood. Number 3 is Good on Paper, and number 4 is Wish Dragon. Those are the carryovers from the other list, and the rest are gonna be the actual movies. The Seventh Day at number 5. Never heard of this. Looks like a horror movie, kind of like broke a poor man's exorcism, or yeah, The Exorcist. So yeah, number 6 is Home, a DreamWorks animated movie. Number 7 is The Mitchells versus the Machines, which I keep telling you about.
Yeah.
Number 8 is Doggone Trouble. Number 9 is Murder by the Coast. And number 10 is a live action anime movie. So they adapted it into live action. It's called Rurouni Kenshin: The Final, which is something that Dan talked about on last week's episode.
That shit looks pretty fucking dope.
He talked about on last week's episode saying that it was an anime and all that stuff like that. And I was asking, why is it called The Final? And I'm like, I never heard of this. And apparently it's the 4th movie. And it's like there's also going to be a 5th movie that's already greenlit. So it's not even the final.
So, but were they animated at first and this the first live action version, or they all been in live action?
So it's been an anime, and it became a series of movies.
Oh, okay.
And so this is the 4th movie in a series of live action movies with a 5th movie to follow. So there you go. Yeah, those are the top 10. The top 10 things on Netflix, and we'll go ahead and move on to the top 10 things on iTunes. And I get my source from a website called Pop Vortex. So number 1 is Nobody. Number 2 is Lansky, which was the new release last week about like the mob boss.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Cruella, which is entering the list there. Number 4 is The Misfits, which shout out to Nick Cannon again. Number 5 is The Courier. Number 6 is The Dry. Number 7 is, oh my God, I missed my chance to watch this movie in theaters. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie, Mugen Train.
Yeah, man, I heard that shit a hit. Like in terms of the money it made,
Yeah.
I heard
It made
it made the most money from animation or something.
Yeah,
like
it's the
that.
second highest anime opening weekend in North America. It's the highest grossing movie in Japan. It's got all these titles and stuff like that.
It, man. I gotta see what the hype is about.
I've only watched the first episode. So so there's a Netflix. The Netflix has the season 1, and they're working on season 2. And this movie takes place between season 1 and season 2. So it's going to lead into season 2. And I only watched the first episode of season 1, which I gave you my impressions when I was like, oh my God, this is good. But then I got busy, so. Number 8 is The Hitman's Bodyguard, which again, because of the movies in theaters. Number 9 is The Marksman. And number 10 is Godzilla vs. Kong. So there you go. Do you have anything to say about any of the charts? I know we kind of sort of skipped through them.
No.
All right. Well, just wanted to go ahead and move on to our recommendations. My recommendation for the week, as I'm just going to talk about real quick, is Kung Fu Hustle. Kung Fu Hustle is on HBO Max, and I just want to say that this movie is like just batshit crazy. It's like live action. The best way I can explain it is live action Looney Tunes.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen this movie, by the way? It came out like in '05 or actually, it says '04 here.
No, I've heard of it. I remember seeing the trailer when it was out when I was younger.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, so Stephen Chow, I think he had done
They did a part 2 to it?
No. Stephen Chow he's been like one of those like funny comedy action stars or whatever back in the day.
Yeah.
He's done a movie prior, so they were like, Stephen Chow is doing this movie, and so I just wanted to say, like, I'm playing the trailer here on screen, and yeah, it was like, it's like a funny ass action movie. It's like a parody of like kung fu movies, and it's so like surreal and over the top. They got these choreographed dance sequences and stuff like that. Like it just makes no fucking sense. But like it's funny as hell because they've done like these like quick like little like speedy like kind of like road runner like you'll see it like, oh yeah, like the flip flops just like hanging on stuff. But all right, I'm gonna see if I can get to the part in the trailer where like, yeah, okay, so the landlord is going up against an entire gang and stuff like that, and she's just gonna like take off like on a Looney Tunes style and stuff like that.
Ooh, hey, this ain't funny.
So right there. So yeah, you see that shit? It's like,
yeah.
It feels very like, super like surreal and stuff like that.
This is actually kind of solid for, hey, you see the 6 rings like
yeah,
Shang-Chi? But this is actually seem pretty solid for a 2004 movie. Like the visual effects are all right,
Yeah, so you can see like they're just going like crazy and stuff like that. And you can see this movie on HBO Max right now, and it's just like one of those like if you like kung fu movies and stuff like that, you'll definitely get a kick out of it's like a serious parody. It's a parody, but it takes itself seriously at times. Like there's like a lot of like love for the franchise or for like the genre.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you can see, it's definitely on DVD.
On DVD.
So yeah, there you go. Do you have a recommendation for the week?
Yeah, my recommendation is gonna be Deathstroke. That like it's on HBO Max. It's a cartoon movie. And man, this I believe it came out in 2020. I believe it was 2020.
Yeah. So this about this one right here.
Yeah, and man, it's on HBO Max. This movie surprised the hell out of me. It's one of the best animated movies ever made. And Deathstroke, it's surprising. Anybody that think they gonna know this movie in terms of like if they know the character of Deathstroke, like he's just this assassin or something, they're gonna be wrong. Like it's a lot of character moments in this movie. It's a lot of it. The story goes in ways that like surprised the hell out of me. And
Damn, I never even heard of this. Like I've never seen this trailer, by the way.
Oh man, it's so good, man. You gotta check it out. Anybody that is fans of any kind of like Deathstroke, DC fun shit like that, like you will love this. It's so good. It blew me away. It really did. It's one of the best DC like animated movies they've ever put out. And it kind of fell under the radar because I didn't really know about it. You know what I mean?
Like, they don't remember them throwing out a trailer on DC Fandom last year for this movie.
Yeah, so it kind of went under the radar. But, boy, when I tell you, you're going to be absorbed. It's twists and turns in the movie. Deathstroke doesn't seem like Deathstroke in terms of just being it. No, he's like, they turn him into an anti-hero, so he's not like this bad guy. And, yeah, man, I think everybody should check it out. It's a lot of twists and turns. And it's I watched it and was just mesmerized by how good it was.
Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons, the movie. Okay.
Yeah, fire.
There we go.
It's on HBO Max.
HBO Max, there you go. All right. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and close out the show with the new releases here.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Yeah, not a whole lot going on in new releases this week here. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I think it's a bit of a toss-up in like a bad way of what the pick of the week is.
The Forever Purge.
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. It's a bit of a toss-up because it's like
this the new Purge. The Forever Purge. Oh man.
All right, so first up on new releases is The Boss Baby Family Business. It's going to be out on this Friday, July 2nd, in theaters and on Peacock. And that's a sentence I got to say right there.
It's going to be on Peacock. That make me not even want to... Like, anything that get released on Peacock, I don't want to see it just because they call it Peacock.
Which, by the way, I found out it's only going to be on Peacock for 60 days, and then they're taking it out.
What?
I don't know why.
I mean, that's probably a deal. They did.
Now adults, Theodore Templeton and his estranged brother take a magical formula that transforms them into babies for 48 hours. Together, they must now go undercover to prevent an evil genius from turning fellow toddlers into monstrous brats. What? Like, that is such a dumbass...
I'm calling it now. This movie's going to be great.
The film stars the voices of Alec Baldwin, James Marsden, Amy Sedaris, Ariana Greenblatt, Eva Longoria, Jimmy Kimmel, Lisa Kudrow, and Jeff Goldblum. That's a good cast.
The cast always solid in these cartoon movies. They just get someone and maybe make them the voice. Like, the cast always great in these cartoon movies.
Man, shout out to Eva Longoria, man. She has not done much of anything. Like,
Yeah, I don't know where she been at.
I don't know why, but I thought she was going to be a big-ass movie star from Desperate Housewives. But anyways, yes, and as Troy mentioned, The Forever Purge is going to be out in theaters this
The Forever Purge.
This Friday, July 2nd. On the run from a drug cartel, a Mexican couple battle vicious thugs who plan to continue the violent tradition of the now outlawed Purge. Also, I put this in parentheses. It's billing itself as the 5th and final film in the franchise.
Man, that's lovely if that's the final film, because like The Purge is one of them movies that like I like the original concept and the idea, but it's like they went like 2 or 3 films too many.
Yeah.
Like if you would have stopped The Purge at like The Purge 3, like or something like that, I'd have been cool. But it's like they kind of like, all right, man, cut it. Like, let's stop. Let's end this shit now, or reboot it or something. But like it's just starting to get repetitive.
Yeah. So the Forever Purge is gonna. Whatever. The trailer actually was pretty cool, though, by the way. The film stars Ana de la Reguera, Tanoch Huerta, Josh Lucas, Cassidy Freeman, Levan Rambin, Alejandro Ada, and Will Patton. Shout out to Cassidy Freeman. She was in Smallville. So.
Oh, yeah. That's her. Was she the one that
Tess
played...
Mercer?
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah. She was like the Lex Luthor replacement. Yeah. And Josh Lucas also, I haven't seen him in a minute either. So there you go. They're getting some work. Next up is Till Death, which is going to be in theaters and on digital and on demand. Probably just digital on demand, I would say. It's probably going to debut on the iTunes charts. It comes out this Friday, July 2nd. After a romantic evening in their secluded lake house, a woman wakes up handcuffed to her dead husband. Trapped and isolated in the dead of winter, she must fight off hired killers to escape her late spouse's twisted plan. The film stars Megan Fox, Callan Mulvey, Ewan Mackin, Emil Amin, and Jack Roth. The only one who's of note is Megan Fox.
Yeah, and no disrespect to Megan Fox, she's beautiful. But if
she's not relevant.
I mean, if she's in the movie, I can't take it serious. Like,
whoa,
yeah.
She's not like Lindsay Lohan bad or anything like that.
Well, damn, Lindsay Lohan is as bad as it gets. But like Megan Fox, like. Wait, hold on. Is Megan Fox the one? Okay, yeah. Megan Fox is atrocious.
Jennifer's Body.
Yeah. Megan Fox is atrocious. Like, I've never seen her in a good movie. Like, I mean, not a good movie. I've never seen her give a good performance. Like, I remember when she was cast as what's her name in the Ninja Turtles?
April O'Neil.
April, yeah. I was like, man, she might be trying to turn over a new leaf here. Oh gosh, she was bad. Like, yeah. So that makes me automatically, and no disrespect to the lady. Like, sometimes you don't have talent, but I'm not trying to throw shade at her. I just honestly feel like she's not a great actress at all.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a horror movie, so.
Well, that makes it worse.
Well, that's the pick of the week, by the way. No,
Oh, shit.
I'm just kidding. Long story short, also in digital and on demand in select theaters, July 2nd, Teddy wakes up in the morning after his wedding to discover he's jumping forward to the next year of his life every few minutes. Watching his future flash before his eyes, he must make every second count if he's going to win back the woman he loves. The film stars Rafe Spall, Zara Newman, Josh Lawson, and Ronnie Chieng. Shout out to Josh Lawson. He was Kano in the Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh, yeah. He was good. He was good in that.
So, I saw the trailer. It wasn't like... It feels like a romantic comedy version of Click. You know the Adam Sandler movie?
I like that movie too. Yeah, I love Click. Yeah.
So, there you go. And finally, this is I would say probably my pick of the week. Fear Street, 1994, Part 1 is out on Netflix this Friday. Remember we talked about it? I don't know if you remember on the podcast, we talked about how there's 3 movies are coming out every Friday. Every Friday
that's right. That was clever and unique that they're gonna be doing that.
So the movie is like 1994, and the next one's gonna be like 1970, and the next one's gonna be like 18 something.
Oh, okay.
So they're going backwards in time for some reason.
Yeah, I mean that's cool too. I even like the fact that they're going back in time
instead of like chronological.
Well, yeah, because I feel like they're gonna reveal something that the first thing that happened or some shit. Like that's cool.
That probably makes sense actually. If you're like, oh, what's the source of
what's this? Yeah, and you find out like in the first whatever. So yeah, that seems pretty.
So I'm giving it my pick of the week simply because I'm going to be watching all 3 of these movies as they come out. After a series of brutal slayings, a teen and her friends take on an evil force that's plagued their notorious town for centuries. The film stars Kiana Madeira, Olivia Welsh, Benjamin Flores Jr., Julia Raywald, Fred Heschinger, Maya Hawke, Jordana Spiro, and David W. Thompson. Now, most of these guys are unknown, but Maya Hawke is actually Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman's daughter.
Oh yeah. So, she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Really?
Yeah, she was the one of the killers that drove away. Like, so like how she was one of the Manson girls basically.
Let me see.
She looks just like Uma Thurman too. It trips me out. Like when I seen her, I knew it just based off the way she looked. I was like, oh yeah, that's clearly her.
And then it says Jordana Spiro, she was on Ozark, and David W. Thompson. It says here he was Scarecrow in the Gotham series for Fox.
Oh yeah, I never watched that.
So there you go. Those are the only ones that are of note. But yeah, so. Do you have a pick of the week personally for yourself?
I think that's gonna be my pick of the week too. I think that's interesting, man. That
concept,
Netflix
the concept making 3 movies.
Like I love when I see original stuff and like especially because Netflix. I'm glad they're utilizing the fact that they're a streaming service because a studio could never do this.
Would never greenlight a trilogy of movies and then release them back to back.
Yeah, they'll never do that. Like that's so risky and like it's just that'll never happen. So I like new fresh ideas. So that concept got me intrigued already, and I have no clue what it's gonna be about or if it's gonna be any good or anything like that. So
yeah, I'd say it's an experiment. But yeah. So, this is just a little over the 2-hour mark, so it's not our longest show ever. But, we'll go ahead and end it there. And so for all you audio listeners, you'll be hearing the ending part. But I'm pretty sure for you YouTube people, you're going to be hearing dead air as it gets muted in the post-production. Yeah, it's time to end the show. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Ready Play Movies. Remember, you can reach the podcast by email at readyplaymovies@gmail.com or simply at readyplaymovies on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Chakalaka88 and Troy.
Bracy Troy 58.
There we go. See, look, our Twitter handles are right below us and everything like that. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a review, tell your friends about the show and all that good stuff. See you next time. Bye-bye.